Where are the low-value men?
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site. You can believe that. You can believe that. You can believe that.
Contracted COVID, but says with a mixture of medicines, including the controversial horse dewormer that has poisoned hundreds of people nationwide, he's now recovered.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
From the headlines to the whisper star. Low value mail. Low value mail at 9 o'clock. Where truth and fiction take a walk.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Our stories are.
Welcome back, everybody, to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail. It's episode number 160 on this Monday, September 15th, 2025, the year of our Lord. Fun fact, I moved to America exactly 6 years ago today. And a lot's changed, hasn't it? Before I get started, guys, just like and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe. If you are subscribed, and you don't like the stream, well then, I don't know what we can do with you. You need some sort of re-education camp. I don't know. But welcome back, Scroats, to an all-new episode. Let me just adjust that. I'm hoping that the audio issues, I know there have been some audio issues, specifically only for some reason with the guests. There's no guests this week. We're just doing open lines. I felt like that wasn't a week to do guests. I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of opinions about things right now, and God knows I want to hear them. I'm a real glutton for opinions. But I spent the last, I've been here since fucking 2 o'clock trying to figure this shit out. From all my tests, everything sounded fine. So hopefully I figured it out. But I do apologize for the past couple of weeks with the audio issues. That being said, let's get to it. Of course, biggest story in the world, Charlie Kirk assassinated last Wednesday. I'm sure you all know this. I'm sure this isn't news to any of you. But let's discuss this, because this is seems to be a fairly monumental thing that happened. This isn't, a lot of people obviously very upset over this. A lot of people gloating. And to the people who are gloating, and we'll get to them, I will say this, that historically, when we look back on people who have been assassinated, generally the assassin and the people who were associated with the assassin side, they're the bad guys. Now, maybe some people are like, this time's going to be different. This time is going to be the time where the assassin side, they were the good guys, actually. Maybe. I don't think so. But anyways, a lot's happening right now. I'll do my best to cover it all. This is a dynamic story, obviously. Just the amount of shit that's broken in the last 3 hours. It'll obviously change. If you listen to this a few days later, I'm sure some information will come out that obviously wasn't available on Monday night. And also, I'm sure I'll miss something. I'm certain of it. So if there's anything I missed, please call in. Let me know what I missed, what I got wrong. Phone lines will be open in not too long. So currently, the official story from the FBI, which I'm sure many of you do not subscribe to. Curious what percentage, actually. You know what? I'm going to put up a poll right now before I get started. Just to take the temperature here. Do you believe the FBI story currently? Yes or no? All right. There's a poll up. Go vote. Let's see. The current story from the FBI is that Tyler Robinson was romantically linked to a transgender woman, gay, and that was his motive for killing Charlie Kirk. Seems fairly straightforward and plausible, certainly. There's been a lot of left-wing transgender violence in the country. Doesn't seem like the craziest thing in the world. He also wrote things on the bullet casings like, "Hey, fascist catch," a la Luigi Mangione. His conservative Mormon father saw the photo released, which was released by the FBI, confronted his son, who then admitted to killing Charlie Kirk, at which point he turned his son into the authorities. They actually talked to their pastor. I believe the kid wanted to kill himself, unalive himself. And they turned himself in. So, and this just came out. This is probably in the last couple hours. This is from Robinson on Discord, as reported by the Washington Post. So maybe take this with a grain of salt. But this is within the last few hours. Fox News has even reported on this. Again, they also say this is the Washington Post, so I don't think this has been verified. But this is a post that Robinson made in Discord, which said, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times," and laughs. Case closed. A Discord spokesperson told TMZ, however, that they identified a Discord account associated with the suspect, but found no evidence that the suspect planned this incident or promoted violence on Discord. Now, TMZ isn't the FBI, and I don't think there's any legal liability on Discord's end if they lie to TMZ. Because a lot of people are like, I've seen this, everybody's like, well, the people running Discord, they're going to jail. And you go, I think they can lie to I don't think they're obligated to tell the truth to the media. Obviously, Discord is a pretty far left organization. They were big in the George Floyd stuff. Again, especially with the Trump administration, things that are going on, you'd think they'd want to lie. Now, obviously, if they destroyed evidence, you guys might need some new servers. You guys might need to find a new place to do your gaming, I guess. I don't know. I don't game. Of note is Tyler is not cooperating with the FBI and is not admitted to the killing. Seeing as Utah, this is my opinion, but seeing as Utah has the death penalty, I imagine any lawyer he might have retained would strongly encourage him to keep his mouth shut and not admit to it, just in the off chance you can maybe get a potential plea deal and get life in prison versus the death penalty. That just seems pretty standard lawyering. I don't think that's any indication of any sort of out there conspiracy. But again, we're going to open the phone lines. I want to hear from each and every one of you, because I'm sure I'm going to miss some things. I'm sure you're going to have some things that you have to say. The FBI is also saying other people may have known in advance, with some people speculating this was some kind of transgender conspiracy. And look, no surprise. Conspiracy Mill is working overtime right now, and there are certainly some questions. Many people saying the video showing the shooter jumping off the roof doesn't show him with a rifle, which was recovered in a wooded area not far away. Now, I've actually... John Cullen, who was on the show, the Vegas shooter guy, he's been going hard on this, basically from literally from the moment it happened, being like, this is a conspiracy. You're like, give it a minute, man. Give it 2 fucking minutes. Now I've seen I've seen the actual footage, and then I saw someone let's show like a kind of zoomed in footage. The zoomed in video does appear to show him with his right hand holding what looks to be a rifle as he's hopping off that roof, and then running away in what kind of does look to be a rifle in a towel or something that's like some sort of fabric, because there's like a limp portion of it. That's what it looked like to me. Again, then Kash Patel then comes out, director of the FBI, announced today that the gun was wrapped in a towel, and they found Robinson's DNA as well as his DNA. They found the DNA on the towel as well as his DNA on a screwdriver that was left on the roof, which, guys, don't leave stuff behind. That's not a good idea if you're committing crimes. Don't leave evidence behind. I mean, not that this guy could have conceivably thought he was getting away with this, assuming he did it, which I'm sure many of you will be chiming in. Now, I've seen some videos showing the people surrounding Kirk before the shooting giving hand signals. There was that guy who jumped up shouting USA, USA, who I was just actually before this kind of scouring his Twitter page. He said he was doing it to try and cause some sort of distraction, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know exactly what he was thinking. Looked a little suspicious. Looked a little odd. Certainly. I mean, maybe in his mind, he goes, yeah, I want the snipers to start firing on me so that Kirk could get away. Maybe that's what he was thinking, but not everything we think ends up kind of working out that way, right? There was no ambulance on site, I'm pretty sure, which was odd for an event of that size at a college. Seems odd. I mean, he left in just I think an SUV, which was not a good idea. And I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that I've missed, which brings us to who might have done this if it wasn't the 22-year-old leftist with the transgender girlfriend who literally has admitted he did it. And of course, it could be none other than Israel. Of course. Currently, 72% of you are not buying the FBI theory. So I assume that 72% of you believe it was Israel. And please call in. I want to hear your theories. And look, imagine my absolute shock when the people who've been posting nonstop about Israel for the last 2 years instantly claim that Israel did it. Color me shocked. I imagine that these people catch a cold and they think, fucking Israel. Stuffed up right now. This must have been Israel's doing. Even Daryl Cooper, Martyrbait, thinks you're retarded for thinking this is Israel. And that is a direct quote. That is a direct quote from Daryl Cooper, calling the people who think this is Israel retarded. I know for a fact some of you believe the same. I'm not calling you retards like Daryl Cooper did. But I certainly welcome your phone call. I would love to hear. The best motive I've seen put forth is that Kirk was critical of the American leftist Jews who were supporting all the leftist nonsense, the Soroses of the world, the ADL, stuff like that. He was also pretty critical of the Muslim Brotherhood, yet I've not seen a single person saying it was them. Interesting. But let's just assume that Israel did have him killed. It doesn't make a ton of sense for them to do it, but let's say they did, right? Let's just say they did. Why would it not be like a car accident or a plane crash or literally anything else except shooting him in the neck in front of 2,000 people who all have cameras? And if it was Israel, and I guess this is the assumption that this kid didn't even do it. He's like, I don't even know what the fuck you guys are talking about. It was some swarthy Mossad dude somewhere else who made the shot. Like a professional sniper would not have hit him in the neck. He would have hit him in the chest. Unless Israel is so diabolical that they're like, well, of course we can't make it look like we did it. So then we have to make it look like it was kind of a miss. So then they purposely hit him in the neck to make it seem like it was more of an amateur shot, which is diabolical if that's the case. But again, why not like a car accident? Assuming this is to send a message to other people in the similar space, you don't turn your back on Israel. I think they would get the message with a car accident. Or does Israel want to make sure that Ben Shapiro gets in line or he's next? I don't know. But again, is the premise that someone else shot him, or is it Robinson and then he admitted it for some reason? Did they somehow trick him into doing it and he's just a patsy? This is I'm curious. And again, I want to hear your theories. Phone lines will be open not too long. You can call in. I will say this to those of you who believe that Israel did it and that the FBI is just covering for Israel. If this is in fact true, if you believe this to be true, then you have been completely defeated and there's literally no hope for your cause. Like if this is Like if Netanyahu gave the order to have Charlie Kirk killed and the FBI, the president, literally every agency, the local police in Utah, all the media, which we know who owns them, are all covering for Israel, it is over for you. It is completely over. It is time to go kiss the wall. You have lost. If this is what you truly believe. I don't see how you're ever going to get a win after this. Like if this is the point we're at, this is where things are, I go, it's done. The occupation of the government is so far beyond what you could have ever thought that I don't think there's any coming back. There is no winning at this point. If this is how deep they have their tentacles, there's no winning at this point. I don't see a way, maybe in 100 years from now, but not in my lifetime. And really, you got to think about this logically, right? Facebook CEO, Jewish. Instagram CEO, also Jewish. Reddit CEO, literally on the board of the ADL, okay? Many of Twitter's biggest investors are Jewish. Larry Ellison, Bill Ackman, Ben Horowitz, Joe Lonsdale. Google, started by 2 Jews, owned by them. Now, I think about this sometimes. Do you ever wonder why they control, and now I just might be a mild-mannered conspiracy theorist, but do you ever wonder why they control these sites but just let people post essentially whatever they want these days? It is something I think about from time to time. Like, what is the incentive here for them? Surely they don't just care about user hours and nothing else. Surely they're not just like, yeah, as long as people are spending times on our Jewish-controlled, Jewish-owned apps, whatever they post, it's cool to us. I mean, Jared and Dylan, friends of the show, literally host a show about Jews. You can go check it out. J-Talk with Dylan and Jared, or Jared and Dylan. It's called J-Talk. It's on YouTube. They literally host a show where all they talk about is Jews, Jewish conspiracies, whatnot. Are you not at all perplexed that YouTube just allows it? And maybe because it's a small channel, they don't care. But they have really, really advanced AI. Shit that fucking probably was made in Israel to detect this stuff. So it's not like a human has to come across this channel, but yet they just allow this stuff. Like if you recall, Gab was removed from the App Store for stuff that is pretty commonplace to see on Instagram right now. Now, are they just free speech absolutists all of a sudden? Is that what it is? Maybe some of the Twitter people, maybe, but all of them? That's just all of a sudden they all just had their come to Jesus moment? And they all just go, you know what? Free speech is the most important thing. Okay. I don't know. To be honest, I don't actually have a great theory on this. But there's just something about it that feels off to me. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. But there is something odd about it. Something I can't put my nose on. I don't know. The question is now, what comes next? That is the $1 million question here. Everybody's been playing the blame game for the last few days. Left-wing people saying the shooter was a groyper. The left-wing people blaming guns. Right-wing people saying the shooter was a leftist LGBTQIA plus Shamalama Ding Dong sympathizer, which they seem to have gotten right, at least so far, assuming you even believe it. Black people saying the problem is white men, and the rest saying it's Israel and the Jews. Now, what comes out of this, especially when you factor in the massive story right before all of this with the Ukrainian woman getting murdered, which has basically disappeared. I mean, that's how it works. Hopefully, they're not, she's not forgotten. My guess is, and I hope I'm wrong on this. I really hope I'm wrong on this, but I feel like this brief experiment that we've had of minimal censorship and content moderation is probably coming to an end. I hope it's not the case, but I feel like there's a good chance. If I was a betting man, I feel like there's a good chance that's going to happen, especially with the whole leftist transgender angle that they're pushing or not. I don't know. The Trump admin already saying they'll cancel visas for people who celebrated the slaying. That's on top of them canceling visas for anyone they deem to be Hamas sympathizer, Rudy Giuliani, earlier today, announced that they had canceled the visa of Bob Vylan's frontman for him celebrating Kirk's murder at a concert a couple days ago, even though I thought they already said they were canceling his visa for his his Palestine stuff like 2 months ago. I was under the impression they already canceled it. So I don't know if they're just talking a lot of shit. What's going on? I don't know. But now they're saying that it's officially canceled and it was over this and not the Palestine stuff. But my guess is Trump is about to ramp shit up, especially in terms of the whole law and order agenda. But, also in terms of just online censorship. And, I wouldn't be surprised if we get something like the Patriot Act out of all of this that we look back on in 10 years and realize was a huge mistake. But again, they do something. They go, yeah, we're doing this bill to combat left-wing transgender terrorists. Half the country's going to be clapping like fucking seals for them to do this. They go, yes, please. More of this, please. To be honest, you better hope Democrats have a backbone about this, because besides Thomas Massie and Rand Paul, every Republican congressperson is going to go full throttle on this shit. And again, I hope I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. They will literally forget every single thing they ever said about free speech when they were getting the short end of the stick. Because again, in politics, what is the point of a tragedy unless you use it for something beneficial? I mean, even Netanyahu, they're like, he's getting killed on that because he's like talking about like Charlie wrote me this letter and Candace Owens is fucking going hard on him. Thankfully, she's on the case. And you're like, yeah, this fucking every politician's a scumbag. Some guy gets killed and he goes, how can I use this for my benefit right now? And he goes, oh, Charlie would have really wanted us to just level all of Gaza. I mean, he's told it to me in private, so there's no way of verifying it, but he did say that. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. We might even see some crackdown on Trump's greatest enemy, the mainstream media, which I'm sure they're blaming and they're going to blame. Larry Ellison's Paramount Skydance, now in talks to buy Warner Brother Discovery, which owns CNN. Yes, that is the same Larry Ellison who is a huge investor in Twitter and was the world's richest man at one point last week. Same company giving Barry Weiss $200 million for her Substack and putting her in charge of the CBS newsroom. So you might see CNN starting to resemble something more like Fox News if the deal goes through. But again, I wouldn't be shocked if Trump tries to lay blame on this stuff, on mainstream media. Maybe MSNBC has their broadcast license revoked. Probably doing them a favor at that point. But it's hard to say. I can't see nothing happening from this. It is just very hard to see nothing coming of this, especially this and the murder. And finally, the right has now embraced cancel culture as they are in the driver's seat. I will concede what they are doing is not exactly the same as what the left wing did. The left was having people lose their livelihoods for saying things that were verifiably true. You'd be like, a man is not a woman. And they'd be like, you should get fired for that. The right is having people losing their jobs for essentially ghoulish behavior. So if there's some kind of moral high ground to be had, definitely the right does have that. Again, wasn't this the big leftist slogan? Freedom of speech, not freedom from repercussions. How do you like that now? Literally every time any side does anything, prepare for it to be used against you, which is a cautionary tale for everybody. Because when you support something full steam because your side is doing it, just be prepared for this to be used against you at some point. And think about how you would like that if it were to happen. Because the only guarantee is that it will happen. Now, I would personally never call someone's employer and have them fired. But when I hear about some elementary school teacher praising Charlie Kirk's murder, I think on balance we're better off as a society removing them from that position. There was an elementary school teacher in Toronto who was relieved of their duties pending investigation, not fired. They're just like, we're paying you, just go home, for showing 10 and 11-year-olds the video of Charlie Kirk being murdered several times in a row. A 10-year-old, you go, you have to fucking watch this. Like it's like a spaceship launching off or whatever. Telling the students Kirk deserved it the entire time. Talking about all this anti-fascist bullshit. So, look, these people need to go. And if that's me supporting cancel culture, So be it. So be it. All right. Phone lines are open, everybody. Let's hear what you got to say. We got Gerard taking your calls. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear exactly what you think. Before we get to the calls, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you're an audio listener, make sure to follow the podcast, leave a review, share it on Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want. And if you enjoy the show, you can support it. Patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL, $5 a month. You can tell a friend. You can join the YouTube channel. You can do a number of things. And also, if we hit the super chat goal that I posted up there, we'll do an extra 30 minutes. If not, all good. Also, new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night. Although, hopefully, new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night, because Theo Vaughn is at the stand tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So we for sure can't use the green room, but I'm working on getting the studio to be made available. So let's pray that happens. And we shall see how that works out. Okay, let's go to some calls. Make sure you call in, everybody. 1-888-949-2969. Currently, the result. Oh, I didn't even do this right. I'm such a fucking idiot. I did the super chat goal for it to only last 30 minutes for some reason. God, I'm dumb. Guys. All right, let's take a call here. We've got first up. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Zach, Danny. Good to hear from you.
Zach, what's up, man? How's it going?
It's doing well. I don't want to be too serious right up at the beginning of the show, but I've launched a new cryptocurrency called Charlie Coin, and it's up 12% just this afternoon.
Morbid.
What better way to honor his memory?
Sure. At least it's. Are you Jewish?
In spirit. No, I've been letting that joke cool off for a couple of days.
All right.
So, this is clearly, part of a pattern between, Trump, the transgender shootings, and the killing of the CEO. And it is kind of terrifying, though, that, there's half the country or, half of the vocal people in this entire conversation are bloodthirsty and wanting more death.
Yeah. Not great. Not great. Because, again, they're not going to like it when it starts fucking some nut job. I mean, I wouldn't be. I was watching a thing or listening to a thing about Weather Underground. They were like that leftist kind of group from the 60s and 70s who all ended up getting like appointed to like normal jobs somehow. But they were like fucking like, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing like bombs and shit. I know there was a bomb planted in a Fox News truck in Utah I think yesterday.
There's a really fantastic documentary called The Weather Underground Film from 2002. And they're interviewing these folks. Some of them are serving life in prison for bombings. They blew a bunch of themselves up. That's why they finally stopped doing bombings. Is not out of
they blew themselves up in the West Village. They had a townhouse in the West Village, not far from here, where I am right now. And they blew themselves up.
Bill Ayers is in that documentary, and he went on to twice independently claim that he wrote Barack Obama's book, Dreams from My Father. Dreams from My Father.
He worked in the Obama administration, didn't he?
Yeah.
This dude was like a left-wing terrorist.
Yeah, but he's a statesman too. It's like Nelson Mandela. It's a matter of perspective.
I suppose. It's quite the perspective. I mean, certainly they would not kind of grant that to right-wing terrorists where you go, yeah, you were just a right-wing terrorist, but you were doing what you had to do. It was a noble cause. So now you can just go back to being like a fucking totally normal person, like none of this ever happened. Seems somewhat one-sided.
And you also have Angela Davis, who, funneled guns to those Black Panthers so they could take a judge hostage and get him killed. Yeah. And she goes and speaks at like after school centers and is a just straight up communist. So,
anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the next iteration of this whole thing is like the left-wing kind of terrorists kind of ramp it up and we start seeing shit like, I mean, again, hoping that's not the case, but like bombings and stuff of that sort.
I mean, they're about to get the mayor of New York City is Mamdani is a straight up communist, and he is about to take over, Metropolis.
Yeah.
Except there is no Batman coming to the rescue here.
No.
And the DSA have essentially the left wing Marxists have cannibalized the Democratic Party from the inside. All the old mainline Democrats have either died off or just been pushed out of the way. And it comes down to, like, do you want to live in a MAGA world or a communist world? And I know which way I'd rather have it, but
I mean, seems like it.
The people who are willing to actually get out and vote and actually engage in the process who aren't checked out are the ones who are going to win in the end. So.
I mean, I'm not like, I still think the problem is that there's like Sliwa and the other one, Eric Adams, just have to drop out, because if it's 4 candidates, Zoran's going to win. If it's just like Zoran versus Cuomo, even though Cuomo's not a great option, but I mean, Mamdani wants to get rid of the gang database here. You're like, what are you fucking thinking, man?
And get rid of all, prisons and raise the minimum wage to $30 an hour. It would be kind of fun to watch if it wasn't going to involve so many people dying and such a
I live
disaster. Here. Yeah, I live in New York too.
Oh, okay.
But Cuomo is the devil we know, and unfortunately, he's the one. I mean, who's going to get Adams and Silwa to drop out? You're going to have some sort of.
I mean, Sliwa's. I met him. I did that Fox News show with him. He's not dropping out. No way. Maybe Eric Adams might, but Sliwa's not dropping out.
Well,
Yeah,
I hope there's something positive that comes out of this in the end, and it's really sad what happened to Charlie. He was the moderate, and the moderates have had their time. So I will see you in the prison camp.
Yeah.
Danny.
All right. Take care, man. Zach,
Bye.
everybody. That was Zach. And if you're on hold, stay on hold. I will get to you. So just hang on, and I will get to you. We got a bunch of people on the line, so just stay. Don't go anywhere. I shall get to you. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Danny, it's Nick.
What's up, Nick?
What's up, man? So I was wondering if you had seen on the socials that there was a bunch of people foreshadowing it. Like,
yeah, like some furries or whatever. There were like a bunch of like furry accounts. I mean, wasn't there there was a SoundCloud rapper who was like Charlie Kirk Dead at 31 song?
Shit, man. No,
Yeah.
I think there was like actually a group of them. I think he was like talking to his friends about it and shit.
Yeah, it sounds like it sounds like it's some, potentially some big transgender conspiracy. At least that's what they're
I just think it's
implying.
Well, it's like peak something, They're like fucking. I mean, these people are going to go to jail. You know what I mean?
Oh, fuck it. Like everybody's like, oh, the
like,
transgender, like his whatever transgender girlfriend's cooperating. And they're like, yeah, because they're probably like fucking have her in an interrogation room threatening like the death penalty. Goddamn right.
Who wants to like post about it on social media for clout is fucking peak something. I don't know what it's peak of, but
I mean, again, if you're like, yeah, we're like these fucking freedom fighter terrorists, then I guess you go, yeah, we don't care. I guess maybe.
I guess. We'll see whether we're rotting in prison for like 15 years,
At least. I mean, they're going to get made an example of, if anybody's getting made an example of. I don't think with Trump's like law and order crackdown, they're going to go easy on them. Again, it sounds like the guy fucking confessed. I'm like, I don't even know how much they really need from any of these other co-conspirators. Like, I don't know. Maybe there's.
But I mean, clearly some people knew about it.
It seems that way. It does seem that way. I mean, again, in the Discord, if you were to believe that, he basically said, like, I did it. So.
Yeah, no doubt. Anyway, that's all I got.
All right.
Good show.
Take care.
Hey, bro.
All right. So let's go to the Goob. Oh, Gooby. Goob, what's up, man?
What's up, Danny?
How's it going?
So, horrible fucking week.
Yeah.
Really, really insane shit here. And I made a stream yesterday addressing what can actually be done to avoid both a civil war and a full leftist tyrannical takeover. So I would encourage people to go to my channel, the Goob, and check it out. If you are full of rage but not sure what to do, I give you the prescription.
Can we get a little TLDR here?
Yeah. So, it's obviously more nuanced than this, but get off the internet, get into the real world and confront these demons anywhere and everywhere you see them. And specifically, we need to eliminate the tranny menace. I think that people severely underestimate the power that a tranny merely walking down the streets has. Their mere existence is a physical embodiment and human manifestation of the left. And so the fact that they can walk the streets, and everyone knows that they're unhinged, violent lunatics, and so people avert their gaze so that they don't get physically attacked by these,
I mean, I'll say this: I'm nowhere near as scared of
and say, yes, you are a woman, because they don't want to get physically assaulted. And if you can get the population to go along with the lie that men can be women, you can achieve absolutely anything. And it is this massive power dynamic, show of power, to just have unhinged trannies walking the streets and forcing people to cower to them. And so these trannies, they have to be absolutely eradicated from our society. And it's quite simple to do, because they will get physically violent with you at a mere glance. If you simply look at them wrong, they are all
Do you know any
unhinged,
transgender
dangerous,
people?
violent lunatics.
I mean, I don't know a
Yes,
ton.
I've been assaulted by them, dude.
Really?
I've been attacked by them.
What were you wearing?
The dudes in dresses will flip out and attack you at anything. Like, call them a dude. They're swinging.
Yeah.
So confront these trannies, confront them in public, and then when they turn violent on you, put them in the fucking ground.
Yeah, I mean, you started this off as like, I might be paraphrasing here. I might be interpreting incorrectly. Seems like you wanted to turn the temperature down a little bit, but you actually want to crank it way up. Doesn't sound like you want.
No. So there's a very, again, nuance, right? It can't really
that was
fit
not a
into
nuanced take
call.
you just gave.
Right.
You can have more than 5 minutes.
The nuances in the video on my channel.
Okay.
The nuance is in the video on my channel. Okay. I can't really fit the nuance into a 5-minute take, right?
You can have a few more minutes than 5 minutes.
It's a bit of both. It's turning the temperature up and turning the temperature down. I'm genuinely not calling for people to go out into the streets and like be violent or anything like that, but I absolutely am calling for people to be out in the streets and, be waving your American flags and your MAGA hats and whatever else. Make yourself visible. Make, the left know that there is a significant, like there's people that obviously disagree. We have to be more present and more visible and more public. And these people cannot be allowed to feel comfortable just espousing the most vile, evil shit everywhere they go. Like, how many times have you been in a gas station and you just like overhear someone saying like, man, can't wait till they off Trump, or just some insane evil shit, right? And they feel comfortable expressing these views absolutely everywhere. And they just like automatically assume that everyone will agree with them. And again, this all comes down to the power of the tranny walking the streets. Because again, if you can get society to go along with such an insane lie as we have to call men women, and we are not allowed to confront these people ever, or, ever disagree with them, like, you can get them to do anything. It's a very, very powerful force. And that is why the left has so adamantly pushed the tranny issue. It's been their key issue that they've fought the hardest for, because if they can force that upon the society, they can force anything upon the society.
That's
it's
a good
incredibly
point.
Demoralizing to people who want to adhere to the truth. It's incredibly demoralizing to see over and over again these tranny menaces, attacking people on the streets completely without repercussion, and not only without repercussion for them, but often with repercussions for the person that they attacked. And so this is what their core has been. They are the physical embodiment of the left. Every time you see one, you instantly forced to recognize the control that the left has had over our population through these power dynamics. And so to take that back, we have to be present and public in the streets. We have to be loud and proud. We have to confront these demons, not debate them, not argue with them. Yeah, that's fine. Not debate them, not argue with them, but humiliate them, laugh at them, ridicule them, and destroy them when they become violent. When they become violent, be ready for it and meet them with more brutal violence.
So we just need to go back to the early 2000s, essentially. Well, what about right-wing transgenders?
Great again?
Yeah, I agree. What about right-wing transgenders?
Make bullying great again, make America great again.
Yeah, what about
they cannot be allowed either. Like Blair White, fucker, sorry.
Blair White,
now, there is,
Caitlyn Jenner.
Fuck him, sorry, whatever. There is, an element where it's like, if you can actually walk down the street and no one knows you're a transgender, then no one knows, so you're not going to be confronted.
Like nobody's confronting unless
the
they
majority
personally
of them.
know Blair White or know Blair White from the internet. Nobody walks. I've met Blair White. No, you would not think that that's a man in any scenario.
So that there is like, I guess you don't get confronted because no one even knows.
So I like this law. You have to pass, which that also solves the bathroom issue, like the whole trans bathroom issue. If they're just like, look, if you pass, you can use the bathroom because nobody knows. You just have to pass, right? And then you're like, you don't even know. But it's these non-passing ones who seem to be the most dangerous generally. Yeah, I mean, I will say...
They are, yes, the uglier they are, the uglier, more disgusting they are. I'm sure you've seen these people. It's literally a dude with fucking stubble. They're disheveled. They've got some shitty wig on their head that's lopsided. You know what I'm saying? They're wearing a fucking dress. Those are the ones that are the most unhinged, and those are the ones that are immediately going to turn to violence if you even, like, make eye contact with them. And those are the ones that need to be dealt with first. Because the uglier, the more of a pure representation of the left they become, as the more ridiculous and hideous of a freak they become. So that needs to be addressed. That needs to be removed. We need to take back the power dynamics in this country. We need to have a country where people are comfortable walking in to, gas stations and loudly just having conversations about like eliminating the tranny menace rather than assassinating Trump, right? We've allowed things to get so bad because we've allowed the tranny menace. It's not the exclusive sole thing, but there is a reason why the left has pushed this so adamantly. It's because it sends what do you think affects a normie more? Listening to Don Lemon on CNN or seeing a meme on Facebook? Or do you think it's that when they're on their walk home from work, they physically have to avert their gaze from the tranny and apologize and say, yeah, sorry, you're a woman, because they know if they don't, they'll get physically assaulted. And to also know that all of the people on the street will stand around and watch as they get physically assaulted or even come to the aid of the tranny. That is where we're at now in society, and that has a far greater effect than any of this bullshit on TV or online. Those things can be powerful. Those things can change minds. But, it's like the leftist who is an adamant leftist until they get jumped and raped by a pack of, whatevers, and then they become a hard right winger.
Sure.
It's like these real life experiences are far more impactful. And the tranny, again, is the physical embodiment. They are a human representation of the left, and they are the left's warriors because they are the most unhinged. They are the most violent, and they encourage that, and they need that because it's all about domination and control and power dynamics. And we have to take that back by being public, by being present, by not giving a shit. When they call you racist, when they call you Nazi, you cannot flinch. You cannot care. We cannot keep giving power to these words. They call you a racist Nazi. Sieg Heil, nigger. This is a fucking war. They want you dead. Back in COVID, right? 5 years ago, 70% of Democrats thought that the unvaccinated deserved to die. 5 years ago, 70% of Democrats wanted you dead. It does seem high. Do you think it's gotten better since then?
I will say this.
BLM, when the country burned and they were murdering people in the name of George Floyd.
Sure.
Do you think it's gotten better than then? The fucking blacks, the Muslims, the Jews, every liberal, it is not a fringe minority of these groups that want you and your children raped and murdered and to dance on your graves. It is a fringe minority in all of those groups that don't want that. These people want you dead. They understand that victory is the only thing that matters. History is written by the victors, and the good guys always win, right? Yeah. And so they do not care what methods or means, by any means necessary, they are going for victory. They've understood that they've been at war for a very long time. Go listen to Destiny. Go listen to Hassan. They're literally calling for more assassinations, for open violence in the streets, for open attacks, and have been for years now. You know, we have to take back those power dynamics. We have to understand that we are at war, and if we do not fight, we will die. And there will never, ever, ever be a more galvanizing moment than Charlie Kirk's death. Even Donald Trump himself being assassinated would not have been this galvanizing and would not have sent this message to wake people up, because people don't identify and see themselves as Trump. They do as Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was all of us. We are all Charlie Kirk. His opinions were so milquetoast. I don't know about you guys, but I'm certainly a hell of a lot more radical than Charlie, and they wanted him dead, and they're dancing, and you know, they're demanding the deaths of his children and wife as well.
Yeah.
Make no mistake, there is no way to put your head down and just slip by all of this. They want each and every one of you dead. You might even be sitting there going, I'm not political. It doesn't matter. They want you dead. Do you remember the kid who went to the Braves game or whatever it was, had the red and black face paint, right?
Yeah.
And they took a picture of just the right side of his face. They wanted that 9-year-old fucking kid dead.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to argue. It's hard not to argue with it. I will say though, I don't know where you live, like what it's like where you are, but like when I walk around the street, it is not the transgenders who are the ones who are fucking assaulting people. That is just.
Who is it? The blacks, I guess.
It's generally the crazies. It seems to be disproportionately black people, but it's the crazies. But it's definitely not here. Again, I don't know if this is a New York thing. I can't cast that, but I've never had a scenario where I was like, oh no, I can't look at this transgender person. Because I'm worried.
Oh, I have.
Oh, yeah. I don't get that. But again,
Yeah.
I do agree. I do agree with many of your.
And I've been attacked by them.
Yeah, I do agree with many of your points. So fair enough. All right, Goob. Well, everybody go check out Goob's channel. I got to get to more callers.
Please.
But
Audio sucks for some reason, but check it out anyways.
That's my life, pal. Goob, everybody. All right. Keep the calls coming, guys. We'll get to you. I promise we'll get to you. All right, we're going to Canada. We got some Canadian callers here tonight. Better not want to talk about fucking Canada, not with the fucking America shit going on. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail.
What's up, Danny? How you doing?
Well, what's happening?
Interesting week.
Sure.
Just had two things I wanted to say.
Yeah.
First off, you're familiar with like what he wrote on the unspent rounds, right?
Yeah, there was Bella Ciao, fascist, catch this. What was the other one? Oh, if you're reading this, you're gay.
LMAO, you're gay if you say this. Like,
yeah, if you're reading this,
when
you're
did we
gay
become so unserious? Trolling, has really gone mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, there were some people who were trying to be like, oh, this guy's obviously a groiper, because that's something like a groiper would do. Doesn't seem like that's the case at all, but I know everybody was trying to, place blame on anybody any group they could find to be like, this is who we need to go after. So I think that's kind of somewhat natural. But yeah.
I think it's kind of, you become desensitized from death. Like this guy was planning an assassination and just like, oh, this will be real funny when they find this. They'll get a laugh at it.
I think it's just like ironic internet culture. Maybe there's obviously there's a nod to there's a nod to Luigi there, because Luigi did something similar, less jokes, but Luigi Mangione did write on the shell casings, which I had never heard of that before. I guess Israel does that.
I think it's common, I guess, in wars now. I think in Ukraine a lot. I've seen it like on the tops of drones, like on the drone. It's like if you shoot this, you're whatever.
Yeah, Israel's done that as well. So, but I guess with the joking element, I don't know. I mean, there was something funny about having to watch that. Like, what was it?
I laughed. I'm not going to
say like when the guy has to read it,
but
like when the whatever chief of police or whoever that was.
I don't think they chuckled, but that really wasn't what I wanted to call about.
Go
but
ahead.
that was just something that I, just funny. Just how non-serious this is. So the last caller, Goob, I guess he's basically paraphrasing Sam Hyde's kind of lines here, and I guess maybe not Sam Hyde, but other people. And I don't know if you saw his last video, but Sam Hyde is like crying in the video. And
it came out like late last night. Yeah, it came out late last night. I watched like the first 10 minutes of it, but it was like
I don't know if like how to take this, if this is genuine or this is performative, because he was like
he's genuine.
One of the people that would like make fun of Charlie Kirk, right? So it's hard. Is he just?
I
like,
think there's one thing to. I think there's one thing to make fun of Charlie Kirk. I mean, I do agree with his take on. Again, I only saw like the first 10 or so minutes, but like his take on Hassan, where you're like, Hassan's Piker is in way over his fucking head right now. The best thing that could happen to him is if Twitch just fucking nukes his channel and they're just like, that guy is not allowed. And again, you know, you get into like the censorship stuff, but like that guy said some fucking crazy shit that if anybody on the other side of the political spectrum said, you'd be like, you are off the internet. And for whatever reason, not for whatever reason, he's a leftist and all these platforms are generally run by left-wing, super left-wing people. They're just like, it's allowed, I guess. But I mean, if I was Destiny right now, the shit Destiny's saying that I've seen him saying the last few days, like the shit, like you're like, you can't leave your fucking house. Like you're literally like for clout or for whatever, like for your streaming, you're like, you can't safely leave your house for, I don't know how long. But like if I was either of those, like if I was Destiny, I was watching him just before this on like Piers Morgan. Some of the shit he was saying, I was just like, if I was him, I'm like, I would not feel comfortable going to fucking CVS to like, just like do some shopping. You're like, you are like stuck at home unless you have like some crazy security. Like, I mean, that is not a life that I personally would.
I don't know what security really is. You know, they probably pay a fortune for security. It doesn't seem to be that
I mean,
helpful.
Destiny's been on the Boys Cast twice. I've seen him out in public. Like when I went to go see Louis C.K. at Madison Square Garden, we just like bumped into him. He doesn't have security. Maybe he does now. This was like a couple years ago, but like I've never known him to have security.
I know Hassan has security.
Maybe Hassan does, but Destiny doesn't. And if I was fucking Destiny, I'm like, I would not feel comfortable leaving my house. Like, at all.
But anyway, so you think the crying was legit? Because this guy, you know, kind of notorious for not taking things seriously, seemed to be taking this one really to heart and was actively like crying.
It seemed like it. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he was, you know, I've met Sam a few times. I don't think he was kind of, I don't think he was just like fucking putting it on. Like, I think that seemed legitimate. I mean, it was obviously like, you know, a pretty serious thing that happened. And I don't know if it's because he's like an online personality, so he can somehow see how like, you know, this could happen to him as a, you know.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
He's
it's
a
funny,
comedian.
Like Destiny's still kind of dialing the temperature up while other people like, they're
I don't know.
Like, hey, let's bring this down.
Like Destiny's, that's been his brand for the last couple of years. It's just being this like total shit lib kind of thing, character, whatever. But you're just like, man, I don't know how you could feel comfortable fucking taking an airplane, like taking a flight, like anything, like at all. I'm just like, you're just like, okay, I guess I never get to leave the fucking house. Not the life for me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not for some fucking,
all right,
you know, some likes on the internet. But hey, man, that's other people. I don't know.
Just wanted to hear what you thought about that. So check out the video. Just, you know, what you think about it. If it's
I'll watch the rest of it.
I can't tell if he's putting it on or why.
It didn't. I only saw it. I didn't see him like full crying. I saw him. He was getting kind of choked up at the beginning, but like I was watching it at like 2 a.m. and I had to go to bed. But
also there's a very weird push towards Catholicism among, you know, people that were traditionally very secular, very anti-religion, now seem to be, even Sam in that video is embracing like parts of the Bible and very odd. Anyway, take care.
Agreed. Later. Okay. Yeah, it's on. Okay, I know we got some super chats that I've missed, so I will read the super chats. All right, guys, if we hit, I'm going to announce this right now. If we hit the super chat goal, I'll let Slav call in. Anton says, it's them, J.P. Opal. Schneid Time says, please lower the goal to 10 super chats. No, but I sweeten the deal because Slav can call in if we hit it. Bobo McHua. This is the last week of Slav's ban. So Bobo McHua says, can't call, but tell them HR 38 for national carry. I believe Florida just approved open carry today. I could be wrong, but I thought I read that. Eric Spencer, Thales, down MH370 with Starstreak missiles and 40 radar. It's sold to Melee. And Ashton Forbes made a fucking career of government UFOs. Bullshit. I don't know what that means. Drew Huntley says, Connor in pants. Is there a noticeable bulge? There would be if I put Connor in my pants. Yes, for sure. Thomas Hampel says, hey, Dan, how would you respond to someone that truly believes that this kind of violence is a good thing? How do you see these beliefs being unlearned? That I don't fucking know. Unfortunately, like if people are so just like on their side, I don't know. Fuck, I really don't know. That's a $1 million question right there. Wallaby says, I bought a foldable long pew pew. I waited too long to do it. Stuff is crazy right now. Jordan says, we weren't made to witness murder, especially not on multiple occasions and on repeat. Yeah, there was a fucking video of this dude cutting a guy's head off in Dallas and like rolling it down the street. I was just like, I don't remember signing up for this when I got on Twitter. Dan Mullen says, let Slav on. Yeah, I don't remember this kind of being the deal where you go, yeah, we're just going to watch people get fucking beheaded on the regular. I don't remember that. But that's where we are. All right. 1-888-949-2969. If you're on the line, stay on the line. I will get to you. 13 more super chats. Slav is unbanned. And make sure to unmute yourself, please, when I ask you to unmute yourself. All right. Well, this person's not unmuting themselves. Let's try somebody else. And as always, they're both going to mute themselves at the same fucking time.
Hello?
Hello. What's up? You're on Low Value Mail.
Hey,
Who am I
Danny.
speaking with?
Hey, Danny. My name is Luis.
How's it going, Luis?
You know, it's kind of scary. I'm a long-time listener of Low Valley Mail, and ever since those videos you used to watch with those women. The
female dating strategy, the crazy fucking hens.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just calling to talk about like the Charlie Kirk stuff. I have like something interesting that
let's hear it.
I wonder if you've ever like heard.
Let's hear it.
I've been like a long time atheist, and I recently been looking into like Christian theology, and there's this guy who has like a series on the birth of evil called Predictive History.
Okay.
He's like a Asian professor.
Yeah, he's from the University of Toronto, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
and one of his.
I follow him on.
Oh,
I saw a video of his. Some of his stuff is like a little out there, but I saw something that I found interesting of his, like maybe a couple of months ago. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think it's like his fifth lecture on like this series on evil. He talks about Israel and like how like their genocide on Gaza. He thinks like it might be intentional, and he's trying to get like the world to attack Israel. So basically, they're trying to provoke the world.
Well, I think I saw that. Essentially, what his premise is, and so there's like a lot of like really Orthodox Jews who essentially like they believe that like the world needs to end for the Messiah to come back. I think that was essentially his premise. Is these like they're these fundamentalist like religious people, and their whole deal is they want to accelerate the end of the world because that's how the Messiah comes back, and it's the only way he comes back, and essentially that's what they're waiting for. So they're like, yes, like let's just fucking speed this shit up.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was saying.
Yeah,
and
that is a real thing. They do exist. Yeah.
Well, he thinks that they exist within like the radicalist section of the Israeli government as of current. And but I was gonna also bring up that like I went to church for the first time, and they were talking about the Revelations.
Okay.
And the pastor there was like saying that like the times that we're like currently experiencing is it seems that like we are in something called like the signs of the times, which is like the 70th like of a 7-year like a period.
Okay.
Onto it, and like the reason he believes this is like a significant time is because like in the Bible it says that like there will be a massive advancement of like travel, and he pointed to the fact that like within the past 100 years, like the ability to travel has like pretty much like escalated beyond anything like we've ever seen before with like the invention of cars, planes, and like space
planes,
travel.
Yeah. And so that premise is essentially saying this is going to bring the rapture. Like, is that what he's going for, or what?
Yeah, and he also talked about like the mark of the beast, and like how like the groundwork for it is being like laid like possible with like the invention of like vaccines and with the invention of central digital.
You went to a base church, huh?
Dude, this guy was pretty.
But he's talking about vaccines and shit. But he's not talking about like the COVID vaccine. He's talking about just vaccines in general.
No. I think he was definitely talking about like COVID vaccines.
Okay.
But basically he was like saying that like they're kind of like socially engineering us to like be more acceptable to like modify our body. And I'm kind of like all over the place, but I'm reading this book also by Alex Jones called The Great Awakening.
Yeah.
And in it, he like talks about the globalist plot to like basically like introduce transgenderism into our world, to like get people to basically like, tell people like, hey, you should like feel like comfortable altering your body. And essentially like the plot there is to get people to like, once we have like future advancements in technology, to get comfortable with transhumanism. And yeah, it's pretty wild. Like and he has like a lot of quotes in the book of like high level up people, like this guy named Yuval Noah Harari.
Yeah, Yuval Sapiens, man. The funny thing is it's crazy how shit like changes in terms of cultural significance. Because like when Sapiens came out, everybody was like, "This is like the greatest work ever," and then kind of COVID happened, and everybody was like, "This dude is the most evil motherfucker on earth." But like it used to literally be like everybody was like, "This guy is the greatest guy." Like, I don't remember really anybody on talking, like everybody on the left loved them. I don't remember anybody on the right talking shit about him. They were just like, yeah, this is an interesting book, good dude. And then all the World Economic Forum, and they're like, oh, he's like in bed with them. And then everybody's like, oh, this dude is like fucking evil incarnate, and he's Israeli, and he's gay.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I've been kind of like opening my eyes to like all this shit, and I'm like, am I fucking taking crazy pills or like?
I don't know. Like again, I'm like, I say this all the time, but I'm like, I have friends who are like not that online, and they're probably like, yeah, I don't know. Like my brother-in-law didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was, but then like I know this is permeated past like online shit, because like I was at a restaurant on Saturday night, and the whole table beside me was talking about Charlie Kirk. They're just some like whatever 20-something people. And so yeah, this is definitely not some isolated thing for sure. Are you going to go back to church?
Yeah, I'm planning to like so like my journey on like what's it called, like religion is like I'm trying to, this is gonna sound weird, but I'm trying to like contact God and like ask him like what the fuck is going on. But like
okay,
like I've never had an experience with like God, or like I've never, like, you know, Dave Smith.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I know him personally.
So he one time he had like a podcast where he was talking about his experience with God, like which turned him from an atheist to like a believer. And he was talking about like when he was having a child, he was like kind of worrying that his wife might not make it, or his like children.
Yeah, I know he had a thing where he was worried about his child dying. I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like through that, he was able to like experience like the presence of God, and like, you know, I take like Dave Smith as like a serious person. I was like, oh man, maybe there's something to this besides like some. Like,
I mean, the famous saying is, "There's no atheist in a foxhole," or however that goes. But generally, yeah, it's when you have traumatic shit happen, that generally tends to point you in that direction. And I mean, look, it is if you can fully be like a believer, it is an ultimate life hack. Like if you can actually be like, I fully believe this, and truly like, no, without a doubt, like you're one of those people where you're just like, I am just like a true believer in whatever God like, it is a real life hack, because whenever anything bad happens, you're just like, yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. And it's just like, it's such an easy way to kind of like compartmentalize or justify anything bad that happens in your life. And everybody's going to have lots of bad shit that happens to them. That's just the nature of being alive. And then you're just like, yeah, it's not like this random thing where it's just like, you know, why me? It's just like, yeah, you know, just it happens, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. All right, I got to let you go, man. Thank you for calling in. Luis, everybody. Okay, let's go to, all right. What are we? Oh, there you go. Slav, phone lines are open, pal. Slav has been unbanned. Look at that. All right, let's go to Rubestar. I'd like to hear some fucking thoughts on why Israel did this, and some proof, please. Hello, Rubestar. What's up?
Danny, I think Trump was behind it.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, it just came to me out of intuition and thinking about it for like the first 7 hours. And I started thinking about the birthdays of the two. And
did you know that Charlie Kirk shared a birthday with George Floyd?
No, and I think that's
what do you
wrong
think
because I
about
thought
that?
George Floyd,
October 14th. What do you think about that, Rube, Mr. Birthday Man?
I don't know. That might be the Mandela effect because I remember when I looked him up, he was February. His birthday was in February.
Whose
February
birthday?
26th or something. George Floyd. I looked it up at the time.
Hold on, let me.
So
just
maybe
I saw Donut, who's been on the show, posted it yesterday. No, George Floyd, as of Google, October 14th, 1973. And Charlie Kirk,
anyway,
is
so
October 14th, 1993. 20 years, born exactly 20 years apart to the day. Thoughts on that?
I don't know. You caught me off guard there.
Oh, I caught the Rubestar off guard. Wow. Wow. Well, Rube. So anyways, you think Trump was behind this? What is your reasoning for this?
Oh yeah. Oh, it makes him look real good. There's an old saying, "Don't outshine the master."
Yeah.
So Charlie Kirk was a little too squeaky clean, a little too walking the walk, and talking the talk, more so than maybe Trump. And their birthdays are 120 days apart, which typically means that they should get along great. However, it's the energy or the birthday in between them, which is a Leo 3, which is an explosive personality, that causes those 2 weeks usually don't get along. So I think Trump had them rubbed out. And did you see the Trump?
That is maybe the worst theory I've heard, but go ahead.
Did you see the AI Trump eulogy?
I did see that, and I saw some. So I can't tell if that was like there was some sort of AI filter put on there, or that was just a cut and he just didn't do it in one take. My thought is, I watched that, I go, he probably just didn't shoot it in one take. He is like a television pro, so he probably understands where he's just like, my body has to be the same because it'll be impossible to cut this if you're moving around. Like if his hands are, like this and then they're like this, you're like, we can't cut that. So my guess is that he did it a few times and they just cut it together. That is what I think.
No.
I don't think that was AI. I guess it's possible. That'd be such a crazy thing for him to do. Unless, of course, he's having strokes, which is what some people are positing, which is why he had that super droopy face on September 11th at Arlington. So I don't know.
Any chance of having Theo Von on the bathhouse tomorrow?
I highly doubt it. I highly doubt he's going to want to do it, but if I see him, I'll ask him, Rube. If I see him, I will definitely ask him.
It's just funny because that's part of my my podcast episode 2 was calling his show.
Oh, okay.
So that would just be kind of
well, maybe it'll come. Who knows? If I see him, I'll ask him. But I'm pretty sure they're not going to let us do it in the green room if he has a show. So, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, Rube. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, later. All right. Phone lines are open, everybody. 1-888-949-2969. You guys really want to hear from Slav, huh? Don't you? Because we have hit the super chat goal. Let's just read these super chats in order. Okay. This is Drew. We're all Goob. We're all Slav. For Slav, I'm poor. Best I can do from K. For Slav, don't you screw him again. He's going to Eddie Grimm. Dan Mullen says, let Slav on. What else we got? Dan Mullen says, why can't they behave? Nick Mullen says, Slav on his K-knob, Danny, or you're not a man. Johan says, Slav watches all my favorite Jewish podcasts. Giant of fourth quarter. Slav, please say N-word. Can. I mean, won't even be the first time this episode. Drew Huntley, 6 more super chats and Slav can call in. Woo. Show me the 1099s. Let Slav on. Giant says, how much more money for Slavy, baby? BH says, Danny, can I send you and your team a Wisconsin cheese box? Abso-fucking-lutely you can. Just DM me. I'll get you an address. Anton says, it's time. The Prince of the South, stop being Prince if you catch my drift. I don't. Anton with a bunch of super chats. Benny the Jet says, don't blame this on me, Danny. Drew Huntley says, the world wants the Danny and Slav show, powers and 5,000 music intro. Anton says, take your shackles. And Giant says, give us Slav, baby. Okay, well, I think this is him. Let's see. Hello?
Hello, you hear me?
He's alive! How does it feel, Slav? The people want to hear from you.
Danny, what you gonna do with all that money?
It'll probably offset the money that I'll lose from you getting my episode demonetized. So, not much, to be honest. Most of it honestly all goes to pay Gerard. So,
what is it? Was last week's episode monetized by chance?
Was last week's episode? It was, yeah. What do you say? What do you ask?
Just because you platform individials who want to see child abuse material.
He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. That was, certainly, you.
He said he wanted to see evidence. So.
Sure. I mean, that can be interpreted. That could be interpreted a number of ways. Oh, actually,
sure. Yeah. And,
you know what? Actually, I just saw this right now. I didn't even know this, but no, last week's episode was not. I just see now that it was demonetized. I'm going to request a review. Let's see if I
whose
get
fault
it.
is that?
I don't know. I'm going to request a review. I'm going to request a review, and I'm going to find out. I'll let you know. I'll keep everybody posted because they don't tell you right away, but they tell you once they review it. But that was news to me because I actually was under the impression that the episode was monetized. My YouTube's been weird too. It says now after all these live streams, usually it'll be like it processes immediately. But the bathhouse last week, it took like 2 days for YouTube to process the episode, which was odd. Anyway, Slav, let's cut the shit here. Okay, let's hear it.
Well, I was just gonna ask if the money you received tonight could be donated to a good cause.
Sure. I'll give it all to the ADL. How does that sound?
That's funny. That's hilarious. No, I was gonna say.
It goes to Gerard. Like literally, almost all of it goes to Gerard.
Yeah, well, it's time to grow up, Danny, and stop doing drugs. If you could either donate it to Demo Dog's dead brother, I forget his name.
Smuckers? Rip Smuckers.
Yeah. If it could be either donated to Smuckers or if that's not possible, donate it to Return the Land.
What's Return the Land?
Those all white communities.
Oh yeah.
Start off in art. Yeah. So because you're excluded, but they'll still take your money.
I'm white. What do you mean? They wouldn't let me in there? Do they have a no Jew policy?
It says no, like whites only, no non-whites, and no.
Hey
Jews.
man.
So
fucking what was that dude who was on the show? What was that crazy guy's name again? Drew? What was that dude's name? He said I'm white, and he said you're a Jew. What was that crazy dude who came on the show? Who was like all Jews are demons?
Oh yeah, I forgot his name, but I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. The guy who called you a Jew. The guy who called you a Jew.
Well, you started it, so.
Hey man, but Dustin,
I'm not a litigious person, and I'm not scrupulous. So, before I get into Kirk, what happened with Goob? I showed up late to the show.
What happened with him? Nothing happened with him. He has a live stream that he did an episode yesterday that people can go check out on his YouTube channel.
I saw that one.
Yeah, he kind of just gave me the short version of what he was saying. Basically, the transgenders need to be
made to feel unwelcome.
Made to feel unwelcome, which I do think actually, if the narrative that is being put out right now does prove to be true, that should almost undo all the progress that transgenders made in the last decade or so, for the most part.
Well, I think
it'll be like a pretty clean reset, but. Yeah,
what is it? Combating transgenderism is also anti-Semitic. Literally criticizing the banks or any of the ills of society is anti-Semitic because it is a lot of hard work that the Jew has carried out to basically destroy the basis and foundation of the West.
I mean, what, do you not have a bank
So-
account? It seems like a pretty convenient thing to have.
No, just like the practices of the banks,
Such
of
as?
lending money to each other. No, yeah, the interest and like they're like, yeah, we'll hold your money, and it's like, no, they only hold 10% of your money, and 90% of it they
It's
play
fake.
with. So they're basically
They don't even play with it. They make
Yeah,
it
it's
out
all
of thin air. Yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean, look,
yeah,
the fractional reserve banking is certainly controversial, no doubt. But I mean, there could be a case to be made that without it, America would look a lot different and not in a good way.
Yeah. So with this whole Kirk thing, hey, did you happen to see the Tim Dillon episode?
I did
from
not
this
know.
weekend?
I saw
It was
some
a-
clips of it.
Yeah, with him and Max Blumenthal.
Yeah, well, I saw Max
I think
Blumenthal,
that's
who's
his
from
name.
the Gray Zone, who basically was saying that he like knows somebody who basically was saying Charlie Kirk told. If you could correct me if I'm missing this, but basically Charlie Kirk was saying that like he was like worried because of his anti-Israel stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, so what was neat was that he was able to very well articulate what I've been saying the whole time without sounding like me.
Okay.
And using my language
Yes.
and rhetoric.
It's very self-aware of you, Slav.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know. I know how I come across. I'm not going to apologize for it.
Nobody's asking you. Slav.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's clearly I mean, for instance, like the first newspaper to mention his assassination was the Jerusalem Post, and one of the they talked about they immediately had all the information on that old libtard Jew George Zinn Patsy guy.
Is that guy Jewish?
In that same article, George Zinn. You're telling me George Zinn? Yeah, you can already tell by the name, or if you saw a picture of him.
I mean, he just
you
looks
could
like an
tell
old white
immediately.
guy.
Danny, I no longer check early life sections.
You just have a sixth sense. You just know.
It's called survival, Danny. You
Okay.
got to recognize predators and
I get
aliens. if you
Sure,
will.
sure. Okay.
Or based on people's behavior and intentions. But in that article, they said, oddly enough, Utah has one of America's smallest Jewish populations. And it's like, why are you even mentioning that?
That's what the Jerusalem Post said?
Yeah. And it's weird how a publication from all the other side of the world within like an hour can
I mean, surely
make
you understand that they have reporters who live in America at the Jerusalem Post. Like the CBC has reporters. The Canadian Broadcasting Company has Americans or reporters who live in America. Like they don't just fucking pick up the phone in Jerusalem and like they have.
I think they do. I think they have like basically Space Command, but with everything that's happening all across the world, being for them ready to talk about it. I mean, look, it's all. I will still attest to that. The Jew killed Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
I mean, he turned
Why?
down money.
Why? But he had lots of money.
Because he turned down money from Netanyahu. He turned down a visit, and he, like, this whole. When I was in college, like they just made memes, like about Kirk with the super tiny face, or they just called Turning Point TP, like toilet paper USA.
Sure.
But it's like I was never like a fan of his, especially every time I see clips of.
I mean, I imagine you're more of a
so-
Fuentes guy, if I had to guess.
I'm like Fuentes. Look, I like.
Are you right
when
of
I say
Fuentes?
I like people.
I guess.
What is it? It's the same way I'm like with Russia. It's like, I'm not saying I'm pro-Russia. I'm just telling people you guys are, like, Russia's being misrepresented in the media.
Okay.
So is Fuentes.
Like the Jews.
Yeah. So. Oh, no, the Jews have, oh, dude, blood libels are real. Blood libels are real. they kidnapped Christian children.
It's not a blood libel if it's a fact.
No, what? Well, you got to ask yourself, why are there child saints in the Catholic Church? And all of them are child saints for the same reason. So, if it keeps, so like you can't tell me back in the day before electricity and mass communication that all these people separated by hundreds of miles all shared like the same views, you know, about a certain group of people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially in Russia, when Russia was like had high rates of illiteracy, it's not like they could spread a pamphlet around. You can't just tell me it's a coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, they do have that Jewish autonomous zone in Russia, don't they? In like Siberia.
Stalin invented that for them. Yeah, Stalin invented that for them. I mean, also,
nice of
the
him.
Jews have never once thanked Adolf for the Havara Agreement. So
I have not heard them thank him. No.
Do you know what the Havara Agreement is?
What, to just move the Jews to Israel?
Yeah, Hitler set up like a system where he's like, yeah, we'll just send all these Jews to Palestine, and it was like on a not like a work program, but it was like a currency trade program. Well, yeah, you can't do that. Jews don't like to work. I mean, throughout history, all they do is just trade. So,
hey, trading's work.
Which is
how am I supposed to get my rags?
No, I don't know.
Where do I get my textiles from? It's Jews or Indians.
Huh?
That's pretty much it. I said, where are you supposed to get your textiles from? Jews or Indians? It's the only option.
Yeah, but well, what is it? I've never seen a Jew pick cotton. So
I've never seen anybody pick cotton. What kind of fucking movies are you watching? Actually, don't answer that. Yeah, I've never seen anybody pick cotton though. And in terms of fruit picking and agriculture, that seems to be more of the Hispanic persuasion. I don't think I've seen any whites picking berries either.
I'll remember to bring that up if you have any George Floyd type guests on the bathhouse that you've never seen anyone pick cotton.
George Floyd type guests. You mean black people?
I mean, if you want to call them that, sure.
Okay. So anyway, so you're just saying.
Yeah,
so back to, let's stay on topic because it sounds like you were a little more hammered and you weren't totally expecting to call in tonight. So you think the Netanyahu just fucking offed Charlie Kirk in a public spectacle?
Well, yeah, because Kirk did have like undoubtedly, you can't deny that he had a major influence. Now, when I first heard about or saw Kirk, it's the same thing I've always thought about like all conservative youth leaders, where it's like, oh, they come off a little dorky and dweeby, and they just remind me of like, you know, young Republicans. I don't know if y'all had that kind of stuff in Canada.
No. I mean, I know it exists
Or
now
something
more so,
equivalent.
but like when I was in college, like I don't remember anything like that existing.
Yeah, we had them in high school. Did we have them in middle school? Yeah, I don't know if we had them in middle school. But yeah, I just remember those clubs. It's like back then you'd think like, oh, they're just dorky and dweeby and they're not like, and like, but I guess that back then is just like we're all focused, like busy trying to get ass, and we didn't realize that things mattered more once you start paying taxes and the neighborhoods you grew up in no longer look the same.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's like one of the things with growing up is realizing preservation of society and culture. But yeah, no, so it's undeniable that he had like a major influence and sway. And
so I guess the theory is that he was going to turn his base against Israel, and then Israel was going to lose all these people. So they had to kill him.
It was already an unneeded hit or sacrifice because his base was Charlie Kirk's entire base was already becoming more and more anti-Israeli.
So, okay, can I ask you something? So let's assume that all these things are true. And this is like I mentioned at the beginning. So The entire government apparatus, from the FBI, the president, the CIA, everybody is covering for Israel on this. Do you feel defeated in any way? In that you're like, well,
No, I am. What is it like?
I mean, that's as bad as it could get.
But here's the thing: it just proves my point, and the point that millions of other Americans believe. I mean, dude, there are young conservatives who are like, we're waiting for all you fucking boomers to die off, because, like, it's not even just young conservatives, but it's also young liberals who realize that boomers completely dropped the ball. They've been getting high on their own supply of being able, of home ownership, and everything is affordable for them, this, that, the other. The actual American dream they had, but they let it get away from them.
Yeah.
Because they're just,
no question
they
about
had
that.
their head in the clouds. Yeah. But now it's also both young conservatives and young liberals who are like, yeah, this whole greatest ally thing, I don't know how the fuck that's possible. And
I mean, there's certainly a tone shift. There's no doubt in the younger generation, especially towards Israel. No question.
What sucks is that if I'm like, don't be surprised. I don't want no fucking civil war. You know who wants civil war? The fucking Jews want civil war. They've always done this in every country.
I don't think the Jews want
It's a cultural destabilization. They've done it with every country in the West.
That's very destabilizing though. That's not like, hey, we're gonna fuck with you guys with the media or like manipulate the media. It's civil war is like you can't get groceries and stuff. Like that's not.
Well, look at England.
That is a nuclear option.
Look at England. Look at all of Western Europe. They're those people. I mean, too little, too late. They're finally growing a fucking spine with some nuts and being like, you know what? Nah, we ain't dealing with these fucking migrants from the sub-Sahara.
Here's the thing. I agree with you on that, where it seems like they are, but then they have elections and they still just vote in the same fucking guys who are like business as usual.
It's nothing's gonna happen unless they just the only choice is violence. So
I mean, they could go vote in someone, Nigel Farage or whatever, or someone to the right of even him, but they're not.
Voting is retarded. Voting is retarded because it's like Dave Smith said. No matter who wins, Israel wins every American election.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So with this, it's like, I'm not saying these are good things, but basically just expose, like, the Kirk incident is exposing how people, the Kirk incident and that Ukrainian girl getting stabbed up incident, it just really, really exposes how it's like, I can't really just accept the left. I don't want to deal with them. So it's not like I want to combat them, but I think it's time that they start getting excluded from society. So we need.
In what way? They occupy literally all bureaucracies and huge majorities.
We need to repeal the Civil Rights Act first and foremost.
Okay, well that's not going to happen.
Why not? You believe in voting? They can easily repeal the Civil Rights Act.
Sorry, I'm not an American. What exactly are the tenets of the Civil Rights Act? Because I'm not going to lie, I actually don't know exactly what it. I assume it's kind of a blanket thing, but are there specifics in the Civil Rights Act that you want to remove?
It says on the bottom. It says on the, like, you ever seen on the bottom of papers and documents that says we cannot discriminate based on somebody's race, age, gender, nationality.
Yeah. I mean, you literally can't discriminate against me because I'm Canadian. That falls under that for some reason.
Yeah, but we could start with that. We can repeal the.
So bring back
Amendment.
Discrimination. Don't let women vote.
Yeah, yes. Discrimination should be allowed.
Yeah.
So
I mean, dude, when you see some of this shit on the left right now, where they're like, you see, like they got some chicks fired from like an office supply store because they wouldn't print they were like trying to get something printed for Charlie Kirk's vigil, and like, do you remember the shit with the fucking cake, with the transgender
exactly.
cakes?
So, yeah, no. And here's the thing: by repealing the Civil Rights Act, that doesn't mean that you have to be discriminatory. It just means.
But you would
you're
though.
Back
You'll take some opportunities, I imagine.
No, I mean, like if there's a black person who's behaving well in public, you know, and they're using headphones in public,
yeah,
you know, and
dude, you're talking about a world that doesn't exist, man.
Yeah, but if there's a headphone user and they can behave in a store, you know, that business owner can be like, he's allowed to, you know, to patronize my business.
Sure.
But, you know, if you get an actual headphone dodger and you can hear him before you see him coming around the corner,
you can.
You're well within your rights.
I mean, I see in New York all the time that they say there's all these places in New York that say no shiesties, which is pretty specific group of people.
Yeah, it's like how clubs have like.
But you're allowed to do that now. You're allowed to do that now.
Well,
but then you see these fucking loser. Yeah, no jerseys, all this stuff. But then you see these like kind of loser guys who will be like go sue a fucking like bar because they're like they have a women's night. I guess maybe the point is to just like expose how stupid this is. But yeah, I mean, all right. Well, good luck with that. Anything else you want to add there? Yeah, go ahead. I mean, the people want to hear from you. So
the Jews.
What's that?
It was definitely the Jews. I know. Yeah, they also want me to hear me say nigger. So
there you go. There you go.
There's that.
That. They got it all. They got their money's worth.
Yeah.
ADL, your money's in the mail.
Yeah. It's definitely like the same way Netanyahu said openly, and this has been cited and sourced, that 9/11 was good for Israel.
9/11 was good for Israel.
This whole thing. Yeah, and
I mean, obviously
they're like, I mean, I wonder what the numbers for like is Turning Point like a subscriber service as well?
I don't think
like
so.
People who sign up.
I don't. Yeah, people probably make monthly donations. I'm sure it's like a registered,
but
nonprofit kind of deal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think because AF Post, they reported that Ben Shapiro, fucking dweeb, took over Turning Point.
I don't think that's true. I think he was kind of saying like he would like take the mantle because I'm sure there's some vacuum of someone to fill that spot. I don't think he was like, I'm taking over. I don't think he's like, I'm taking over. I don't think that ever happened.
The fact that he even said like, I'll pick up the blood stained microphone.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck. And then Cash Patel saying, I'll see you in Valhalla. Dude, the funniest thing is he said that, and then somebody replied with a picture. There's a village in India called Valhalla. And they're like, I think this is what you meant, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, pretty dorky move from Cash Patel. I don't know if, again, I saw that and I go like, maybe they were like buddies, like they knew each other, and it was like maybe like something that Charlie Kirk might have got. It was kind of like an inside thing. I don't know. Very dorky.
But I have seen like some of the more recent clips of where Kirk gets confronted about Israel.
Yeah.
And you can see him getting uncomfortable, but in a sense of he's like, I know this is right and I can't openly agree. Like, it's like that kind of body language, and that like that's what's like actually really sad. That because he like how is he supposed to detach? He's like, what was he supposed to do? You're like, you know what? Fuck all my donors. Fuck them. Like what is? And he's like, even if you return the money, it's because this is the thing with the Jews. If you have something that they like. No, this is real, and you see it throughout history all the time. If you have something that they like, they will bribe you for it. They will give you ungodly amounts of money for it, but higher than asking price. Basically, like what BlackRock is doing.
They'll purchase
They'll
it
give
from
you something that like
above market.
Yeah,
rates.
but above, just way above, and because it's so disingenuous by their actions. And if you don't, they'll blackmail and slander you, or if they want your participation with something, meaning they're like, oh, would you like to make a donation to our Holocaust Museum Society? And then if you say
actually, that's where I'll send your super
they'll
chats.
Huh?
I said that's where I'll send the super chats.
Yeah, but if you don't make the donation,
yeah,
you don't make the donation, they'll label you, oh, he's anti-Semitic. Oh, he doesn't want to donate much to the Holocaust Fund. Maybe he's a denier of it.
I've never seen that happen. I mean, I'm Jewish, and I've never been shaken down for a Holocaust museum donation.
Well, no, the thing is,
have I
you
ever
don't
been to
see
one?
it happen. Have I what?
I'm trying to think if I've ever even been to a Holocaust museum. I don't think so.
Well, we were forced to go as kids during school. I wish I at the time
Didn't
had
seem
the
to have
wherewithal
taken.
say this is. Huh?
I said it didn't seem to have taken, forcing you to go to the Holocaust museum.
Yeah, but I wish I had the wherewithal at the time to say this is all fake the whole time. So I didn't have to go.
Yeah, that
No,
might
but the reason
that
you
might have
don't
gotten you
hear
a
about
write-up.
Yeah, the reason that you don't hear about it is because they're compelled to donate. The reason why you don't hear about companies refusing to donate to these things is because they're afraid to be labeled anti-Semite. This is literally what Malcolm X said. Like, I don't know if fuck Martin Luther King Jr. I said it here first. He's nothing but a cokehead, commie, Marxist, pedophile who fucked 15 and 14-year-old girls. And
He liked to get his dick wet. That was for sure.
Yeah, with underage girls. But Malcolm X, he was the real one. He was a real nigga.
And he said that you had to
says,
give
like,
money to the Holocaust museum?
No. He says how the Jew you could basically call them like a liar, escape. Like, you could call them all these names, but as soon as you call them a Jew, they'll label you an anti-Semite, and they use that as a weapon.
When you call them a Jew?
You could call a Jew a liar, a thief, a scoundrel.
Mm-hmm.
You can call them all these different adjectives that could be applied to anyone on earth. But as soon as you call them a Jew, they'll smack you with the anti-Semite label.
See, I feel like they would do the other way around. I feel like it would be the other way around, but I don't know. All right, Slav, I gotta let you go. I got so many people on hold. Any final parting words for the Slav heads?
Don't trust the Jew.
All right, good talking to you, Slav. Slav, everybody. I hope that was good. I hope you enjoyed that. We lost a lot of callers. A lot of callers dropped off. Phone lines are open, though. 1-888-949-2969. We're going till 10 o'clock, so we got an hour and 20 minutes. So if you want to call in, call in. If you don't want to wait on hold, call in like 20 minutes or something. I will get to you, though. Stay on hold. Don't trust the Jew. Famous words from Slav. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, can you hear me? This is Austin.
Austin, what's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Very well.
I love the show. I love you, Danny. I just wanted to kind of reply and talk to that opening question you had.
Yes.
Just like about where to move forward, what to do if you're surrounded.
Yeah.
I kind of think back to like the early Americans with the British Empire. Like, they were the largest military. They owned everything on the map. They had the fastest ships, the best guns, and that didn't stop the Americans. So to me, like, being surrounded just by having corporations own you, they don't own you as a person. They don't own your soul. They don't own your destiny. And if you put them in that position over you, I think that you're kind of letting them win a little bit before they've actually done anything.
Sure, that's fair. But so what do you prescribe actually be done, like, in terms of like specific things?
I mean, I don't know about like specifics, like actionable things. Like, to me, I think that logistics are a really big thing. So like, I think that we're all being screwed over with money. Our money is not sound. The individual is being screwed over by corporations. They have like 17 streaming platforms. So I think that like monetarily, we as a people are kind of screwed. So everything after that is kind of getting like the cart before the horse, I think.
Sure. So you're thinking about this from a purely like monetary standpoint, I guess. I mean,
I think that's like a good start. I just don't think that's like going out in the streets is going to do something, yelling at a corporation. Like, they're just corporations. Like, they don't own us. If everyone just focused on their own life, their own community, their
I
own
mean,
soul, their own
generally the
problems.
most, yeah, I agree. Like the most, and I've said this before, like the most change you can enact would be on the most local level. Like, like going to get something done in wherever you live, especially if you're in like, a small town or something, like doing something where you can actually be like, I can see the results of something I did versus, going in, if you live in New York City and just going to complain about the fucking MTA or something, you're like, that's not going to do anything. And even if you go boycott something, you're one of 10 million people. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think that also that like there is something to be said about weighted numbers and boycotting. Like if enough people did it, eventually you would see some change. But so many people are like, oh, we've already lost. Everything's, destroyed. Doesn't matter. Politics is gay. Who cares? And they don't like engage. They don't engage with themselves or local laws or anything. We're all just kind of like, no one's taking the wheel. No one cares about taking the wheel. And we all just complain that no one's making any actions about it.
Yeah, there's a bit of nihilism there, but I do agree. Yeah, I like, again, the specific things to like, in the regards to, I guess, specifically the Charlie Kirk thing. I'm like, what do you specifically go boycott? I mean, you could go buy a lot of guns. That would send, I guess, some kind of message. But then I think a lot of people already have guns. So I don't even know if that's necessarily the thing. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people, obviously, you talk to guys like Slav and they're just like, voting's pointless, even though it is to a degree, but more on the local level, it's probably less pointless. For sure, I feel like, you go vote for some congressperson, probably not going to get a lot.
There's a point to it, but at the same time, like if everyone who complained and said voting's gay, it doesn't matter, actually went to the voting districts and like there was those weird videos of like, I don't know, a couple of elections back where there were Democrats like putting poster boards on the window and like trying to block people's views from seeing votes being counted.
Yeah.
If those places were just so full of people wanting to make sure that the elections were proper, like just wall to wall full of normal people, it would be a lot harder for people to actually get involved, like to do shady shit for like, oh, we found 15 boxes, guys. Let's scan these.
Yeah.
But
well,
like,
I mean, they definitely just need in-person ballots here with like no mail-in voting. They got to just go the same way pretty much every other country on earth does it, except for America. For some reason.
I thought a big loss on Trump's side is he talked a lot of like crying about they're going to steal the election, but then he didn't actually do anything to stop them. He kind of just sat back. His like supporters didn't really show up in the numbers needed.
I could be wrong, but I thought for the way the elections work is like, you have someone who's like a registered Republican watching and you have someone who's like a registered Democrat watching and they kind of are a check and balance on one another. I could be wrong on this. That's how I thought it worked.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. I guess they don't trust the system overall. And then there's like, finding, there was a box of ballots and stuff like that. Like I'm sure
they don't enforce it.
Yeah, they don't enforce it, I guess.
Like that video of the people putting up poster boards, one of the people was one of these like, I'm a Republican, I'm supposed to be here, I'm allowed. And they just like, nope, sorry, sir. There was like 15 people that just said no. But he just stood outside and let them do their thing.
Yeah, so they maybe need better processes to do that. And again, like Trump's in power right now. Like if the Republicans want to do that, I'm sure they could do something in that regard. I don't really know, but yeah, I don't. I know some people really want to just like Goob. He wants to fucking crank up the temperature. I don't know if that's the best way to go about things. I really don't know what's going to come of all of this, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be nothing.
I think people have to get involved, and not like in a violent way, but in a peaceful, let their voices be heard, let their bodies be seen type of way to say, hey, there are more of us that want normal, logical politics that don't include, crazy violence towards each other or include letting our politicians enrich themselves at the cost of literally every American. Like regardless of what side you're on, we all pretty much have seen that it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
So we just have to channel that into something useful.
Yeah. And in another world, like the president would have, made an address where it's like everybody needs to calm down. Everybody needs to, what America, kind of post 9/11 thing where like America is just like, we need to come together. But Trump's not that guy. He's literally like, fuck these leftist lunatics.
The monsters that did this will find no quarter. We won't stop.
Yeah, kind of. So it's like, he's not not that I'm saying that would even work, but he's definitely not that guy who's telling everybody, you know what, we just need to calm down and get cooler heads. He seems to also want to fucking amp it up a bit. And I mean, the left is crazy. Like, I mean, I was saying it on the Boys Cast last week. I'm like, I was kind of making the point, like, right-wing people don't really, and this is in reference to like the stabbing, where I'm just like, right-wing people don't really do stuff. Like, they don't really get out and protest to the same degree. And a lot of people were like, yeah, because we have jobs. Yep. And a lot of left-wing people don't. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Like a bunch of students and possibly paid protesters who can just show up and
you know what, hey. Actually, I don't know if he's going to come on, but the guy who runs that like huge paid protesting business, his PR person reached out to me today to ask if he could come on this show. And I was like, absolutely. I mean, I don't know why he would want to. I'm like, he's Think Right PR. It's Crowds on Demand. His name's Adam Swart. We had talked about him on Boys Cast, but basically they were like, he has 400% increase in protest requests. He's speaking out now of how protests are manipulated. I don't really get this because I'm like, wouldn't you want this to be like this? Business. Yeah, maybe the business is doing bad. But I'm like, wouldn't you want this to be like this like clandestine thing? I'm like, this is like fucking, most people think you're evil.
Well, I think like if his cover's already blown, but then his PR people are saying that he's got an increase, maybe his services are being requested. So he sees this as an opportunity to advertise. Like people don't care. Like I think the problem is that the majority of Americans are just asleep. Like they're watching Disney Plus. They have no clue what's going on. And so like the powers that be that are just smart enough to realize that no one's paying attention, they can do shit out in the open because no one gives a shit. Like if it's not on Disney Plus, they're not going to hear about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, it's like you look at like fucking America's Got Talent, and I'm always thinking to myself, who the fuck watches this shit? And you go, yeah, like 10 million people a night. 10 million people in America every night are just like, this is what I care about. And so, I don't, there's kind of like, especially with NFL back on, I'm just like, man, like if this shit happened not during NFL, there'd probably be way more people fucking, like there is some effect of like when sports are going on where people go, yeah, I just watch my sports. I don't get too fired up about this stuff. Like if you just got rid of the NFL, man, oh man, there'd be some fucking blood in the streets. All right, I gotta let you go. Anything else you want to add?
Nope. I love you, Danny. Thank you.
All right, thanks, man. Good talking to you. All right, let's go. Old Charlie. Phone lines are open, 1-888-949-2969. Let's hear from you. Charlie from Florida.
Danny, how you doing?
Good. How are you, man? Is it true they passed open carry in Florida today? Did I read that correctly?
I believe it's true, yes. I believe it is true.
So you carrying or what? Are you just a pussy?
No, I'm a pussy. No. I saw it at the local sheriff's department here sent out something on Facebook saying that they
you can just
it just passed.
Just passed. Open carry in Florida. All right. Let's go. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
No, I think
as a Floridian,
for sure, especially for responsible, gun owners. Of course, I believe that the people can be responsible. I have friends that are, and family that do, and everything. And you just got to know the laws, and you just got to take classes and get trained properly. And then I believe I do think it's a good thing for sure.
Yeah. Got to make a little more civil society.
I don't know what is New York. New York probably is
York's
totally the
nothing.
opposite, I'm sure.
New York's nothing. No concealed carry, no open carry. You're allowed to have pepper spray. Can't have brass knuckles. You can't have.
Wow.
You can't have anything. I mean, I think
what
most
about,
states brass knuckles are illegal, but you can't have anything here. Pepper spray's it.
What about I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Are you allowed to do jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. We're not that cocked. Yeah. You're allowed to go train jiu-jitsu. yeah. You're allowed to do that. That would be fucking next level. They just ban jiu-jitsu. I mean, I wouldn't, I have a feeling like Zoran Mamdani, first thing in office, he's like, we're shutting down all the gyms. No gyms. Gyms are closed. There's no reason why you need to be able to bench fucking 115 pounds. No reason why any man or woman would ever need to bench 115 pounds. So gyms are closed.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, yeah, it's well, with how crazy the world is, I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. But who knows?
Well, especially
It's
if he
just
couldn't
wild.
bench 115 pounds. I think that would be a smart move
Oh.
for him. He goes, I can't bench 115
Oh, yeah,
pounds.
if you
Nobody
can't bench
can.
115. Yeah, if you're a dude and you can't bench 115, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not great. Not great. So any thoughts on this Charlie Kirk's? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy. I mean, it's such a crazy thing. It's so sad and it's so like just shocking. The whole thing. It's still like hard to believe that it happened. But the craziest thing to me is that how the responses that you're seeing from some people. Like I have some people like on my Facebook, like they say things like, you know, anybody who is sad that Charlie Kirk died is also hates Martin Luther King Jr. or stuff like that. Like, do you see the craziest takes from people?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
comparing
my
him to, like,
Facebook,
Hitler.
yeah, I go on Facebook like once every 2 weeks, maybe just to see what the fuck's going on.
Probably a good
And
idea,
my
yeah.
Facebook is all Canadian comedians, like almost exclusively. And they're all
Yeah.
just like, for the most part, they're like, yeah, they're like good riddance kind of deal because they're all very liberal.
Wow. Yeah.
Varying degrees.
Yeah,
Some people
yeah.
were like sad about it. Some people, you know, people have kind of like in the last 5 or so years have kind of, especially in Canada, have switched to, you know, more conservative. I mean, I was at a show, I think the night of I was at a show, or no, sorry, the next day I was at a show and we were in like the green room and there was like some younger comic and he seemed pretty in favor of Charlie Kirk getting murdered. You know, very
Yeah.
much parroting the, like, you know, he was a really bad guy. And you're just like, okay, I'm like, do you want, like, he's like young. So I'm like, I'm not even getting in an argument with him, but I'm like, do you want to live in a society where just like these random arbiters decide who is good and bad and then summarily executes
Yeah.
them in public? I'm like, is that the world you want to live in? Do you understand how that
Right.
like, gets used against you? But they
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
They don't.
And-
And
and-
it's not even a conversation I was going to have.
Yeah, and the other thing, I had to actually learn the definition of whataboutism because I had no idea what that meant.
Sure.
But because like that's basically all these people. They're just like, well, what about this and what about all the other bad things that happen in? It's like, yeah, there's other bad things that happen in life every day, but why does that mean that this is less bad because there's other bad things in life? Like, what are you
Yeah.
saying?
I mean, we
You know?
very much live like the DEI, all the stuff I've said forever is like, that's like revenge culture, essentially. Like when they did the DEI stuff, they weren't like, oh, we need to level the playing field. The DEI stuff was all like,
Right.
you fucked us, now we're fucking you. Like, how does that sound? But they had to pretend like it was like, oh no, we're just like leveling the playing field. But you're like, no, this is revenge, essentially. And
Right,
you know,
right.
and now it's like they go, oh, well, what about like that woman, the lawmaker in Minnesota who got killed or whatever? They're like, you guys didn't care about that, so why do I have to care about this? And I mean, in their brains, it makes sense. Like, I didn't see anybody talking shit about her being like good. I don't remember ever seeing that.
Yeah.
I did see some people making some probably not so tasteful jokes about Paul Pelosi at the time when the rumor was that it was his like gay lover versus some fucking Canadian lunatic who smashed him in the head with a hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, he didn't get killed.
Yeah.
Definitely not in public.
Right. That's the thing. Yeah. Well, it seems
He
like
could have been
people
killed.
kind of just live in their, like you said, I think before, a lot of people create their own like reality and like they just live in their own reality of what they think is going on. Or let's say things like, you know, oh, if you, anybody that cares that much about Charlie Kirk, do you care about other things like, you know, school shootings or this and that? It's like, why would you assume that they don't care about that? You know, it's just so
Sure.
stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of people like you know, Charlie Kirk had a quote where essentially he's like, you know, the Second Amendment, like there's a number of deaths that are acceptable to keep the Second Amendment. And honestly, like, people were kind of using that as some big gotcha on him, but his premise, which does really make sense, is he's like, look, you know, we all drive cars, and we just accept every year 50,000 people are going to die in a car crash. And that is just like
Right.
an acceptable amount of deaths. And kind of when he puts it in that context, you're like, I guess, yeah, that seems pretty reasonable.
Well, also, how crazy is it too? Like, that just shows how crazy, I guess, our culture is and desensitized it is now. Like, even a day after it happens, they're like putting screenshots of his tweets up. Like, you're not even going to give like a week.
No. No.
It's crazy.
No.
you know?
No, body's not even cold yet, and they're fucking dunking on him already.
We're arguing about, they're showing clips of him like, oh, he hates the LGBTQ community. He hates this. He hates that. Like, it's wild.
Which again,
It's
I don't know if
wild.
that's a function of like internet culture, and you know, probably would not have been like that if this happened 20 years ago.
What do you think of the the only thing that kind of I'm not sure, like, I'm for if they're trying to get rid of, like, if they fire somebody because they're like inciting violence or calling other people to violence or that kind of thing, I understand going after that and like firing people. That kind of makes sense, because you're kind of like, if you're telling people that people are Nazis or Hitler or something, that is dangerous. That's very dangerous, like, rhetoric.
Sure.
To say over and over and over again. So that I understand where the right's coming from now with all that stuff, but I'm also a little bit worried, because I feel like anytime this stuff happens, like, it'll go extreme in that direction. Where like,
well, that already did go extreme. I mean, that's the thing. This is it goes back to the revenge thing, where you go, the right's just like, yeah, you did this to us for the last fucking 10 years. Now is our turn. And it's just they're trying to take some moral high ground. And in some instances, you're like, it is fair enough where, you know, like, it is not the same to be like celebrating someone's assassination versus like being like, a man is not a woman. And then, you know, those are probably two different things.
Yeah.
Right. But like at some
like
element, like someone's like, yeah, I lost my job as like a realtor because I fucking was like, nice shot or whatever. You're like, yeah, I don't like care if how my realtor's politics are. This is revenge.
Right.
You know, I don't want them teaching kids, but I'm like, if he's a fucking realtor,
Of course.
truck driver or some shit, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, for the longest time, I was like that. You know, I mean, like, I'm gonna shove McDonald's fries in my fat face, regardless of what the CEO thinks about this or that. You know,
right?
Like,
yeah.
But yeah, when in terms of like real, you know, dangerous rhetoric and stuff, I guess I understand like some of it, but yeah, it can also be misused. Like, what do you think for comedy? Do you worry about comedy in that sense, or you don't think it would affect
comedy
that
was
much?
did just fine in the last whatever, you know, period of time. Obviously, the whole system kind of reorganized itself, but comedy's fine. I'm not worried about comedy, and there's certain elements that I'm positive about, but yeah, comedy's fine. I mean, I'm not too concerned about it. I do really think that we're going to get some whole social media crackdown, courtesy of the Trump administration. I hope I'm wrong, but
I heard something where he's supposed to go to England or Europe to talk about something, because they were throwing people in prison, I guess, in Europe for even tweets. Well,
in the UK,
like
they
just arresting people.
They arrested Graham Linehan, who was like this big comedy writer, for basically just tweets about transgender. Like, he had 5 cops like waiting for him at an airport when he landed coming from Phoenix.
Well, apparently, like, Trump didn't like what they were doing over there, so I don't know what that's going to do or accomplish. But hopefully,
yeah, I mean, he can he can definitely like wield some influence in that sense and kind of force them to,
right?
You know, it'd be like essentially through monetary penalties, be like, yeah, we're going to increase your tariffs if you don't do this, and he can allow them to decide. I'm talking about like in America, like
right.
Yeah. Yeah, but
hopefully it just doesn't infringe that much, and to the point where, you know, yeah, like every stupid out of context joke doesn't get somebody fired or whatever, you know.
Yeah, well, this is like a heightened emotional time right now. Like I just think it'll be more like how the left wing was kind of policing speech, 8 years ago. It'll just kind of flip the other way. If it were to happen.
I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
Yeah.
Good talking to you again,
right,
and I appreciate your show and
appreciate
keep it up, man.
Thanks, Charlie. Charlie from Florida, everybody. All right. Let's find out why it was the Jews. Dylan.
Hello, Jew.
Hello. Hello, Gentile.
Hey there. So I want to start off with first, I have no sympathy for any of these people that are getting fired, as I lost my job a week and a half ago due to one of these transgenders. It's not a big deal. I work for a very big company, but I got in a situation with one of these transgenders, and it was a road rage thing. He followed me through the parking lot, and
this is a coworker?
No. I was going to get a haircut, and this guy followed me through a parking lot after he got road rage, and I pulled into a spot because he just kept following me, and I got out, and he parks right next to me and starts confronting me, and he was, I'll post a picture in the Patreon so you know what he looks like, but it was about a day or two after the shooting, not the Charlie Kirk one, the Catholic one.
Yeah.
And so I told him, get away from me, you trans F word, you look like you just got done shooting up a Catholic school.
Okay,
and
so the Goob school.
Didn't like that. And so he recorded me, and I was still in my work uniform, so he went to my job after this, because I went and called the cops. They said, it's going to be a while, and obviously they don't want to screw around dealing with some stupid kid. So, and I'm out on bond right now. I just got a plea deal. So I can't really just beat the shit out of him. He was shaking like a fucking leaf on a tree, man.
Just I have some questions here. So why was what was the road rage about? Do you have some like incendiary bumper stickers on your car? Like what specifically did this guy just, like, there had to be something more to this, like that they was following.
I pulled into the turning lane and in front of him, and he got like right on my ass and then started following me really, really close in the parking lot that I turned into, and then tried to go around me in the parking lot, and I didn't let him, and he started getting like, because I didn't want to, I've been in a situation, I actually made the news where some guy road raged and hit my work truck before, and I ended up having to beat his ass and then hand him to the sheriff.
Okay.
So I kind of just didn't want to let him get around me. So
Sure.
I kept trying to drive through the parking lot, and he kept following me, and so I found a spot, and he parked right next to me, and that's when he
That's when he started
confronting me. I was just trying to get away from the situation, and I called the cops, but it was just.
And
they
you're the
weren't
one who
gonna
got in
be there
trouble
time,
here.
They told me. Yeah, but I mean, the
What
thing
was the
is my
charge?
job, like, with my job?
No, what did they charge you with if you got arrested?
Oh, this was different. I was already on bond for something else because somebody put my daughter in danger, and I beat the shit out of him.
Gotcha.
And but anyways, like I work for a very large company. They said they'll give me a recommendation to another branch of the large company, but I just can't work there right now because he was going to cause a big stir for us.
Right. They'll kind of so you have no sympathy for anybody kind of getting quote unquote canceled, which is fair enough.
This Deuce Rex guy by in the chat is a total cuck. Shut the fuck up.
I don't see him.
It's all right. And
by the way, when you called here, just not, I don't know if you believe in this kind of stuff, but when you called here, my like YouTube like panel thing had exactly 1,488 views.
Yeah, that was me. I did that. And actually, you were joking around with me about having a Hitler mustache last time.
I caught your live stream. I watched a few minutes of your live stream.
You did see it.
Yeah.
You'll like this. I went to go to Home Depot today, and I completely forgot.
If you guys go catch J Talk with Dylan and Jared,
yeah,
you pretty much have a full. I watched it. That was like the
shaved
one
it after I had to turn around. and go home.
Okay, because that was like the one
to that Home Depot too much.
But that was like what I was saying. Like that was the one that like my family member who's Jewish, like this Russian guy. That's like the one he had. Like it's like the thicker one.
I thought about keeping it.
It's a little
really
wider.
Did.
I mean, anybody could bring it back. You could, but with all your legal troubles, I would say probably just let that go.
I'm fine. I mean,
I know, but just to be on the safer side, as your Jewish legal counsel, just a little on the safer side.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
But I did want to talk about all the things that were going on with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I've got my notes up here. There was a few things that not only the shooting happened, but there was a lot of things that happened in the same proximity of time.
Okay.
In that week.
I mean, there was a shooting in Denver, like at
the
exact same time at a high school.
Yeah, and I completely forgot about that one. But so, a month before, we've got a guy on Twitter that's at Tommy Borum Jokes saying that if Charlie turned heel on Israel, he would be shot in an open air event.
Wow.
And the thing is, you were talking about on that he was taking money. The thing is when you're in one of these groups, you're in a big gang, and even if you want to stop taking the money and you don't believe in this, they're not going to just let you leave the group.
Sure.
You know,
it's like the mob.
It's like
the mob.
It is the mob. That's why I've told you before when I've called in. It's a giant club. They use people like you as scapegoats who identify as Jewish, and you're basically cannon fodder.
Yeah.
But so in the same time frame we have in Nepal, I was watching.
Dude, this Nepal story is fucking crazy, by the way. I don't know if anybody, because this also wasn't like a huge story, but this like Nepal's entire government got overthrown. Their parliament got lit on fire. That whole thing. And there was like this, you saw the British guy who just like happened to be there and is just documenting like the fall.
So that's what I was just about to say. So his @ is We Hate the Cold on YouTube. He's one of these travel YouTubers. And I put it together last night. We did a 3-hour stream, so you probably didn't watch the whole thing.
No, I didn't. I just watched a few clips before today. But yeah, go ahead.
So one of the things I realized is all these travel YouTubers just happen to be all over the place all the time, taking their sweet ass time traveling through very, what are they? Just,
like third world kind of
areas that are, a lot of places that are prompt to get color revolutions.
Yeah,
and
which is honestly a sweet little gig, because you could be a travel YouTuber, make like not that much money off of YouTube AdSense, and go live in one of these countries like a king. If you're like if you're like American based, like you can be like, man, I make like enough money to just live, just fucking documenting my time here. Sweet gig.
So I never thought about this before, but I think that guy is a MI6 guy. I think a lot of these guys are actually, and I don't put the tinfoil hat on as much as, Jared or Slav might. Like, I'm a little bit more toned down.
Yeah.
But when I start seeing this guy is right there, just happens to be in the same exact environment to document all of this. And this happens to be the country that's between China and India, two of the major players in BRICS. We've talked about this with our dollar is basically backed by oil.
Yeah.
And they just happen to use a young group of people, like they do in most color revolutions, to go and overthrow. And these people just randomly start doing it. I don't know if you've ever.
Yeah, they were
seen
like, it was.
just
They
how
basically said it
randomly-
was all like manifested from Discord, and they picked the new president in an election on Discord. I don't know if that's actually happened, but that's the story.
Oh man, it's so odd that Discord is at it again. And so I wanted to tie in that Yuri Bezmenov, you know, that
Of
famous
course.
interview about the guy
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
Okay. So if you watch the full interview with him, he speaks about going to India, and basically a lot of these guys, intelligence from Russia and CIA, were all involved in these journeys to India with all these flower children going and visiting the Babas, and basically the precursor to the hippie movement, or during the hippie movement. And obviously the hippie movement was used as a way to disenfranchise the anti-war by making people that used to wear suit and tie and protest war to a bunch of drug-addled morons.
Sure.
And so I think, looking at Yuri Bezmenov, you start looking at these travel YouTubers, and you start seeing that these people either are knowingly or unknowingly pushed up in the algorithm to be watched, because there's another guy named Sabbatical who he just recently, a few months ago, got arrested by the Russian government for illegally crossing into Russia from China through, oddly enough, a area that was it's like one of the very biggest Jewish towns in China.
Jewish
that
town in
bordered
China?
Russia. And yeah, I
Okay.
forgot the name of it. So he goes and illegally travels across this bridge, and he knows, by the way, about like 8 or 9 languages. And so he's claiming that he was just offered by his taxi driver to go and cross this bridge into Russia. And then he said that he didn't see the signs that say you have to have a
visa,
a pass to go over there, because this particular bridge is known for trafficking weapons and all sorts of stuff. And so what should have been just a small charge, they went and held him for about 3 weeks, and as a spy.
Right, because they assume he's a
And-
spy. That's they assume
and
first
he's-
you're a spy until proven otherwise.
Well, they were setting him up pretty much.
Yeah.
And so he's either being popularized by the algorithm, or he is possibly a Fed. And so he gets picked up there. Then we've got this thing going on at the same time with Poland. I don't know if you know about the drone that
there's a
miraculously
Russian
went over
drone.
Belarus.
Yeah.
They went over Belarus into fucking Poland. And Russia would not just go and send things into another country's airspace and then just attack Poland in the midst of them meeting with our leader to go and negotiate peace.
No.
Well, there's the thing that they have that the Ukrainians have been using called Pikrova. And what this does is hijack drones, and you can control them. Previously, they were using it to go and just take them down. But I think they did the same false flag they did at the very beginning of this, where they let one of their rockets from Ukraine go and hit that farmer's house in
Yeah.
Poland. I don't know if you remember that.
I do, yeah.
So So that happened right around the same time. Then we go and bomb our own ally, Qatar, that happened to be housing people from Hamas to go and do negotiations. And then Trump wags his finger like he's actually upset and didn't know. But all of these things require our acknowledgement and our
kind of giving the go ahead
expertise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then a week before, Israel signed a deal with Google called the Hasbara Agreement.
Actually called the Hasbara Agreement?
Yes.
That's crazy.
About a week and a half ago, before this, with Google, it was a $45 million plan for propaganda for pro-Israel stuff. Then you've got George Zinn, the guy that was there. I keep wanting to call him Howard Zinn.
Yeah.
And he was a witness to 9/11.
Is that 9/11 thing true?
See
I saw he was somewhere because
Yes.
he's been in a bunch of things, right?
Yeah, and then he also got arrested in 2013 for emailing a bomb threat to Salt Lake City Marathon after
Right.
the Boston bombing.
That's what I saw. Yeah.
And that's
Certainly
insane
odd.
because the guy that shot at Trump from that golf course also had a charge for actually, I believe, creating a IED as well, and then went off to Ukraine and came back with training from the Ukrainians over here. And I got fucking popped I got some major charges against me when I just punched someone in the face. And these people are mailing bomb threats, creating bombs, shooting at the president, and they just get hardly anything happen to them.
I mean, I would be certainly curious with that Zinn dude, because why he was arrested. He was on the ground. He's like, I have the right to remain silent. Some locals are like, yeah, he's this local kook. But then you're like, but he's just at all these things.
Mm-hmm. And then you've got the David guy that waved his arms, and there was a very odd Twitter thread.
Yeah, I was looking at his Twitter
where he was
earlier. He was making these weird
Okay,
videos
and
where he's
then
like, "You're
did you
mocking me." He's like, "It's all mockery. You're all mocking me."
Yeah. And then did you see the thing about the airplane?
No.
I
The one
posted it
in
in the
Utah
Patreon.
where
So-
the guy turned off his transponder.
So it's owned by Derek Porter Maxfeld, who's on his Facebook says he lives in Guangzhou, China, and his LLC is the same building as Sapria and Defend Innocence, the child abuse group, and he is a equipment rental company, and he just happens to turn off his transponder for an hour. Meanwhile, Elon Musk cannot even fly his airplane without being tracked by some, smart ass 20-year-old in college.
Yeah.
But this guy can turn off his plane, and then all the information for tracking that plane was
See, at
removed.
the time,
He's
'cause
got-
I remember following that in real time. They were saying the name was something else, though. I don't remember that name, because they said it was some guy.
Derek
who was,
Porter Maxfield is the owner of the thing. I mean, I can pull up all the notes
yeah,
on there.
no.
I'm looking.
Derek
but-
Maxfield. Oh, okay. Oh, I think. Okay.
Yeah. And then there's Aaron Sheffield or something. Aaron something Maxfield as well.
Yeah.
And then you've got in 2023, Rolling Stone, Media Matters, and Benjamin Dominic, married to Meghan McCain,
Yeah.
all publish issues calling Charlie Kirk an anti-Semite for having, I guess it was about the time when they had Tucker and all those people speaking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I've got to tie it into this Israel and why, you were mocking people saying it at the beginning, but here's what I think is going on.
Okay.
So
let's hear it.
Discord is kind of a Operation Monarch extension of MK Ultra, kind of like they recruit sleeper cells, and they're constantly catching people all the time in the FBI and CIA that are about to commit terrorism. But they can also let things happen. Case in point, OKC. You know, if you know anything about OKC, the Oklahoma City bombing,
Yeah.
it's very odd. And so what I believe is going on is they recruit the lowest of low people, which happen to turn themselves trans usually, and they turn them into angsty little sleeper cells. And there's a group in Salt Lake City, and I'm not being derogatory when I say this.
I know
what they call themselves.
Yeah.
Armed Queers, Salt Lake City, and they have furries and as they call themselves, queers and trans and all of that. Well, after Daniel Tribby, his trans lover, got found, and he handed over his Discord information, not too late afterwards, they pulled up a guy that was a furry, that was like a pigeon furry, and he's wearing a let me have the picture. Okay, I believe his name, the picture, I don't know which one he is. Adib Nasir and Adil Justice Ami Nasir, and arrested in the following as he was a group or part of the group of the Armed Queers Salt Lake City for having a bomb. So this is not the only one.
Is this the Fox
that they've
News
got
truck
out
thing?
there.
That are those the people who put the bomb in the Fox News truck? No, that's different. Because I know they had kind of Muslim-y, Arab-sounding names.
No, this is some guy, like he's literally like a furry.
Oh, okay.
And he's part of this group.
So I have a few questions. I guess.
Okay.
Why? And so, what is the purpose of? Because you assume that killing Charlie Kirk, if we're saying that Israel did it, would be to probably silence like other, like people like Charlie Kirk, like these high profile.
I don't even think it matters because it has nothing to do with that. I think the fact that he was so popular. I mean, he was everywhere. And don't forget that just happens to be that a month before South Park just does like one of their biggest episodes lambasting him.
Yeah, good episode too.
And this is the same channel that hosts, the propaganda of John Oliver and Vice.
Yep.
Now through HBO,
which is now, by the way, owned by Larry Ellison as of like less than a month ago. Larry Ellison now owns Paramount.
You can't let this, like, your biggest proponent start questioning things, because he was opening his mouth. I'm sure you've seen the clips of him talking about, kind of opening his mouth. We played a few last night, and I was very surprised to see these because I never seen him actually open his mouth about this. All I ever saw was, young Groypers sending him, going and confronting him about Talmud quotes and stuff like that, and him kind of just rolling his eyes.
Yeah.
I never saw him actually talk about this stuff. So I had no idea he was actually changing his mind. That's how well they hit it, because you would think I would have seen this before. But then you've also got, at the same time, you started to talk about them trying to vote your way out.
Yeah.
So for instance, Europe, look at what they did with Marie Le Pen. They made her unable to basically be a candidate. They overthrew the guy in Romania that was actually, he won the election and they discounted it. And Romania has been one of our biggest, Biden even got involved when Andrew Tate was speaking out against Israel living in Romania. And that whole country is so corrupt.
Oh, big time.
And now you've got up to, I believe, 14 deaths of the AFD was an alternate. For,
yeah, these are all these like
Deutschland.
candidates, right?
So when you've got these people, like, it doesn't matter. They're gonna go and remove the candidates. Like, it doesn't work. I'm not calling for violence. I'm just saying this is the scenario, at least over there. We might not have it as deep over here, but it's getting like that. And like, you can look at Australia and see how much they changed from being a country that was very hard to get into, and
Canada
even denying, like, they had strict laws about denying Chinese people. Like, strictly only like white people were allowed to move there. Then all of a sudden they have some Muslim shooting and they remove all the guns. And now Australia is probably one of the most cucked countries imaginable. And,
yeah, it's getting up
and they're
there.
doing that to everyone. I don't know, you know, I'm a proponent of firearms. I don't know what good it does right now, but they definitely, there is a reason that they want to take them away from us. So,
yeah. Interesting. All right, I gotta let you go. I have like fucking
pretty much
15 callers.
All right, buddy.
But good
Thank
talking to
you.
you, Dylan. All the best with all your
Bye, Jew.
legal shit. Later, buddy. Dylan, everybody. Go check out J Talk with Jared and Dylan. I'm sure they'll expound on that more. All right, we're going to get to all these calls. Phone lines are closed now. Do not call in anymore because I have literally 13 fucking calls. I will get to you the best I can do. Don't hang up. I will get to you all, even if it means going extra time. Thank you for joining. Like the stream, you fucking losers. Hello. You're on Low Value.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris.
Chris, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? Just
Very well.
wanted to call in because I was living down there in St. George for a couple years after the pandemic,
Okay.
and just have some firsthand experience on the culture.
Let's hear it.
I mean, in a specific way. So I'm a musician, and so I was kind of partaking in some of the bohemian arts scene events down there.
Okay.
And there's definitely a pretty big Antifa, just like presence, I would say.
Yeah. Isn't like it's a
And,
super conservative area though? Like I always think of like Utah, and I'm like,
I mean, yes and no. You know, it's big for like hippies that are into like rock climbing and you know,
gotcha.
like burner type people, like
Sedona
taking
kind of
acid.
types.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And yeah, I just want to say that, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just an Antifa cell. I knew some guys who were really into like the whole Discord Reddit shit. It was pretty weird. I'm a conservative, for the record, but yeah, I try to be really nice to those types of people. I was originally from California, but big reason I left was just that same shit, and I was surprised to find that in southern Utah.
Yeah, like you left because of that scene, like just the people there.
I mean, in California.
Oh,
And I
in
was
California.
surprised to see
Oh,
that in-
gotcha. You're surprised to see it there, but so you can totally like based off of kind of the types of people who live there.
Yeah.
This isn't like a crazy.
But then
surprising
again,
thing to
there's also a huge like military intelligence community, or like there's a lot of people that work on base in Nevada too, like older people. So I could see some sort of domestic, I don't know, program run maybe in coordination with the foreign government, doing some sort of Gretchen Whitmer shit, but I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess the difference with the Gretchen Whitmer thing is they didn't, they set them up to inevitably not do anything. Like their goal with the Gretchen Whitmer thing was not to have Gretchen Whitmer killed. It was to fucking basically frame these guys and say they wanted to kill her. Like, I don't think, unless this was like some plan that went completely awry.
I mean, but look at the J6 stuff too. I mean, not that those guys did anything wrong, but they pursued charges. I mean, they got people in trouble. And
They locked people away without trial for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like zero due process. So, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this kid is some patsy that was being groomed by government entities and he didn't even know it.
I mean, the question is if that's the case, do we ever even hear anything about that? Like, you know?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, like, look how the FBI has kind of fumbled every freaking investigation. I really don't think it's negligence. I think that there's still compromise. That deep state element is still holding strong in the FBI.
Yeah. I mean, that's the weird thing is everybody was like talking shit about the FBI because they're doing such a bad job. But I mean, like I was looking back and I mean, Kash Patel referenced it, but in the Boston bombing, they're like, they didn't even release a photo of those guys for 3 days. Because I remember everybody was like, it's been a day. That's like, well, how haven't you caught this guy? And you're like, I don't know if like TV has like warped our minds for how quick this stuff is supposed to happen. But they're like, yeah, the Boston bombing, they're like, they didn't have, and granted it was 2013, so maybe the technology wasn't as good, but they're like, we didn't have and Kash Patel was trying to say like, yeah, I was the one who was telling them like, we need to release this, like fucking hurry it up. So
on the bombing thing and that Zinn guy, I mean, to me that there's just so many weird like little loose ends.
Yeah.
That was
weird.
What do you think about the symbol? Yeah, what do you think about the symbolism shit that's been peddled? Like, I'm not really big into numerology or anything, but I've seen a couple kind of out there posts, but then just the totality of it is just kind of weird with all the 33.
I mean, I think if you look, I think if you look at, like, I mean, I could be wrong. I haven't seen the numerology stuff, but generally I find like if you can usually like kind of fit that into a lot of things. Like you can find like, if you're looking for in specifics, like you can probably find that in a lot of things.
Did you see that the amphitheater was sort of shaped like a menorah? Have you?
No, I did not see the amphitheater was shaped like a menorah.
Look that up.
No way.
You gotta look it up, dude. It's undeniable. I swear, man. I swear.
I mean, that's fucking hilarious. If it's shaped like a menorah.
The synagogue of Satan, dude. I don't know. I know you're a good one, Danny, though. I love the show. Really appreciate it, bro.
Hold on, I'm looking at it. Just looks like an amphitheater. Oh no, this is an amphitheater. Well, it's not the amphitheater. Was it where the amphitheater was?
Or it's like the quad. I mean, it's terraced, so it's.
I mean, I'm looking at it. That's. I mean, that just looks like an amphitheater. That's a stretch to say that looks like a menorah. That's a bit of a stretch.
Okay.
That's like a weird like Rorschach test kind of thing where you're just like everything is just like that's a menorah. That's a menorah. All right, I gotta let go. But anything you want to add?
Good.
All right, take care. All right. Okay. Take another call. Thank you for joining the show, everybody. Thank you for holding on the line. If you're waiting to call in, I will get to you all, even though I currently have to piss my pants. No more water for me. It's just what it is. It's what we do. It's what we do. Please unmute yourselves. At the very least, don't make me wait for this. All right, I'll read it. I'm going to read a super chat. Anton says, this guy is up there with Socrates. Prove me wrong. Too soon? That's a reference to Slav. Drew Huntley says, Israel is responsible for Smuckers. Never forget. I mean, if Israel did Smuckers, that is too far. All right, we'll take another call here. This person's not picking up. And Dan Mullen says, shout out to Drew and Slav and their families. We love you. Slav doesn't have a family. Come on. I'm sure Drew has a very loving family, though. Okay. Oh, hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
How about Danny? Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Who am I speaking with?
All right. This is Jesse.
Jesse, how's it going, man?
It's going good. Good show tonight.
Thank you.
First time, long time. I just had something that I saw on an interview yesterday with that Colonel Macgregor, that retired colonel that he seems to be everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
Regarding the Charlie Kirk assassination, and he was talking. He said that he and Charlie Kirk worked a lot together in the past, and that they had kind of went different ways when Macgregor started, talking about Israel's no good, and Charlie Kirk was still defending him, I guess. And he went on to say that Turning Point had $40 million of Israeli money in it.
Okay.
And my jaw about hit the floor because, everybody's talking about Israel was trying to get to him and he said no and all this. And And it kind of sounds like they had gotten to him and he was into him deep.
Yeah,
And
I mean, that
may have-
Macgregor guy, I don't know if anybody follows him, but I don't know if I've ever seen someone who posts like that much verifiably false shit on Twitter. I don't know why, because you're like, he seems like a real like army guy, but like that guy, like when shit happens, you go like he'll post stuff and like you go to the comments and people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like during like the Iran, like when, you know, US bombed Iran, and he would just be posting this stuff and people are like, what are you talking about? Like he would be posting these things saying like, this is happening. And people are like, this isn't happening. And then it just like the guy, I mean, I don't know what his deal is, because he seems like a, you know, you'd see him on paper to be like a straight up dude, but like that guy posts so much fucking nonsense where I don't.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh my God, dude. He is like maybe one of like, it almost is like a troll at some point where you're like, this guy just posts the most made up fake shit. I'm sure he posts some things that are not made up, but like he posts some fucking nonsense. Like if you go look at the comments on some of his posts, people are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't know that. The times that I had seen him. And
I'm not saying that this specific thing is not true. I don't know. But he posts so much shit where you're just like, you just made this up completely out of thin air.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt.
Take it with him specifically. And I don't say that about a lot of people, but him specifically, I'm just like, he posts some fucking real nonsense.
Well, keep that in mind. But yeah, I just wanted to share that tidbit.
But it could be true. I'm not
like
discounting that specific thing, but just in general, because I don't know what his motive is.
Yeah.
Like he just likes the fucking engagement on his Twitter app. He's like fucking 80 years old, but
he does seem pretty happy to talk to just about anybody.
Yeah, because he posts some, man. I remember when there's things that are going on where you go like, this can be verified in the next like 30 minutes if this is true. Like he'll just be like, yeah, there's fucking Iran has nukes on their way to the United States, and people are like, what? Not that specifically, but he posts some crazy shit. He's one of those guys where I'm like, I don't even get the motivation behind it, because he has so many posts that have community notes on them, just being like, he made this up.
Completely full shit.
Yeah. But again, I'm sure
stuff he says.
I'm sure some of the stuff he says is true. I'm not completely discounting him, but generally when I see someone like that, I go, I can't really take anything he says seriously, because I'm like, you know, that's kind of
right.
Like what you.
And how would he know really where Turning Point was getting their money? But it just
maybe he does
did say that, and I was.
Yeah, maybe maybe he does. I don't know, but he posts so much shit that's like verifiably false. And then you're just like, oh, I just can't take him as a source. Like personally, I have to, because I'm like, I have whatever you say, I have to go verify, anyways. So I just kind of find someone else to follow who's a little more reputable, I guess.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Danny.
All
I
right.
just wanted to share that with you. Great show. Long time fan. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for calling it.
Bye.
All right. Guys, try to unmute yourself so I can get to all of you. I will get to you all. Like the stream, please. What do we have? 340, 50 of you watching, only 162 likes. Ridiculous. Dylan Farm just says, hello.
Jake Davis is the name. I'm a big fan of yours, Danny, and Ryan Long. I saw Ryan when he came to visit not long earlier this year, not long ago. It's
cool.
Great.
How's it going? Are you on speakerphone by chance?
I am on speakerphone. Sorry, but
can you possibly take it off? It just doesn't sound great on for the listeners.
I have taken speakerphone off. Do I sound better, sir?
Much better. Yes. How's it going?
Awesome. I'm just a little hard of hearing, so that's why I typically do speakerphone.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I wanted to say, what do you think? Do you think I think the Charlie Kirk assassination, and I thought about it long and hard, I think it was done to cause chaos so that they can say if they do kill anybody, like in the future, like a Whitney Webb or a Candace Owens, they can be like, oh, look at Charlie Kirk. He was a Zionist and he got assassinated. I think it's almost a decoy, like a red herring, so that I think they killed him because he was like pro-Israel. I think all this stuff about him coming out against Israel, as far as I can tell, or wanting to come out against him, I should say, I think a lot of that is psyop shit. I think it's just there to con people into thinking there's something he wasn't, so that when they do kill people, like, I hope it doesn't happen.
I mean,
But,
he was.
I'm worried about the door a little bit. I still believe that jet that him and his wife were on, that plane that was almost collided into this other plane, I think that was an assassination attempt genuinely. It feels too much to be a coincidence.
Well, that I didn't know about the plane thing. And I mean, if you take him on, you know, in his totality, he was pretty pro-Israel. Like they point to like a few comments he made, but if you take all the comments he made, it would be hard to say that isn't a guy who's pro-Israel. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. It's a question that maybe is the crux of this entire show, which is, who is they?
Who is they? I think it's a satanic cabal of reptilian lizard people who drink kids' bloods for adrenochrome, have been practicing witchcraft and all kinds of Baphomet worship rituals. It's the people who are worshiping the owl at Bohemian Grove. It's the people who made the decision to put the seed oils in our... It's the puppet masters behind the scenes of every president, including
So generally the
President
elites.
Trump. Follow teacher and Epstein connections doesn't look so clean. I think that there's a higher forces beyond this whole thing that had Charlie Kirk killed, and they worship Satan and want us all just enslaved to a world of chaos where there is no morality except what we desire on a moment-by-moment basis.
So like demons, basically.
Basically, I think there's some very demonic individuals, and there's a demonic agenda behind the Charlie Kirk assassination, which is meant to divide people, like with Andrew Tate literally tweeting, not saying anything good about the guy, but I'm saying he is someone who has a following, and he was tweeting civil war after this or whatever on X.
Yeah, from his compound in fucking Bucharest.
I mean, there's so much satanic symbolism in our culture, and I think there's just one more thing to turn neighbor against neighbor, to be like almost a George Floyd for the right, is like, oh, you see what you did, like, you know, but we're not rioting in the way they want us to. That's what one thing is. There hasn't been any for you shooting.
Now, do you think about it at all? Because I don't know the scale to which this is happening. There's no question that it is happening, though, that there are like foreign countries that have bot farms, like, you know, think China, Russia, maybe Israel. I don't know about that, but potentially who are essentially like, you know, they go online and they try and amp everybody up. Like you'll see it sometimes where you'll see all these accounts and they post just like the identical thing. Like it's like word for word, and you'll see people who screenshot and they'll be like 50 small accounts post the exact same thing.
Over 50% of these comments are just bots, and like I'm a full believer in that.
And they're trying to foment some, because again, if you're, you know, a country and you see America and you go, how can we weaken the country? Definitely getting everybody fighting is a good start. It's a really good start, and it's probably not that hard to do.
Are going in their efforts to get people fired from their jobs. You know what's a better solution than any professor at a college who rejoiced over Charlie Kirk's assassination? A better solution, in my opinion, don't send your kid to that college. Warn people about that college so they can make the choice. Do I want to send my kid to some race or queer commie university?
Sure.
Do I want to do that? I want to have them be homeschooled or go to this other place.
Yeah, but what happens if they just, you know, enrolled as of, you know, school just started? Like what happens if in your first year of college and you find out I'm paying $40,000 a year for what?
Some kind, because America is supposed to be ideally about free speech and, you know, I mean, freedom from consequences. I get the distinction. Like, you can technically shout fire in a crowded theater, but you shouldn't because, like, and you can't, you know, there's definitely a lot of nuance. And the people talk about, I want to make this comparison when it comes to free speech. The way people talk about the Second Amendment when it was written, yeah, but they didn't have, like, machine guns back then. They didn't have these, like, silencers or all the technology they have for weapons today. I compare that to the First Amendment and how they didn't have social media back when the Founding Fathers wrote that First Amendment.
Sure.
They didn't have bot arms like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there should be some degree where, and again, I don't know if the social media companies are, like, able to manage this, but it should be on the social media companies to be like, yo, you guys got to clean your shit up. Like, this is your business. It's, you know,
I fully see the social companies are managing it, but in the opposite direction that you or I would prefer, Danny, where I think they're propagating the They're
that's even
promoting
worse.
the negative energies so that people feel more depressed, more soulless, more lost, more alone, more confused, and more likely to possibly, without directly MK Ultraing like they did the Unabomber, not the companies that are saying the deep state. They don't need to hook you up to a machine and Clockwork Orange style you to brainwash you. They just need to show you enough shit to get your energies going in a dark enough direction where you fulfill more of your chaotic energy.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's no question, there is a desensitizing element. I've literally seen in the last week on just Twitter, 3 people getting murdered. I'm like, you're not supposed to see that many people get murdered. Definitely not in a week. I don't even think you're supposed to see that many people get murdered in a fucking year. But you definitely shouldn't see that many people get murdered in a week.
It's all meant to poison the minds, and it's at what point is there news, and what point is it promotion and glorification of the violent acts themselves?
I mean, I guess they could be like, this is news, but you're like, I could just keep. And the thing is, you don't even have the choice. That's another thing. It's not like there's a click on this to see the video. It's just here's the video, and you go, what am I watching? And you go, oh my God. And by the time you even realize it's kind of over.
I'm not a paranoid conspiracy theorist to a degree. I think every time a man beats a woman, or if there's a carjacking or a theft or a robbery, identity. I'm not saying that's all deep state, Danny, but I do believe that a clear majority of these mass shootings are because of grooming from these FBI people under these accounts. And I think a lot of it, they're trying to get people to act up. And I mean, there was one case where it's Muslim student, I forget the name, I forget the state, but the person was being talked to by a Fed and trying to, and they were exposed for that. And people just look the other way when these shootings happen, no, how could it possibly be the sweet, innocent government with Operation Midnight Climax and Operation, there's MK Ultra already mentioned, but there's half of these conspiracies that are out there that have been publicly released. That's a sliver of it. That's the 1% we're allowed to hear about. I mean, I think they're covering up Atlanta. I think we're covering up a lot of stuff and when we see these people commit mass murders, what's the topic they always turn to? Gun control. Because they wish the powers that be, Danny, the demonic forces, I think, were behind the Charlie Kirk assassination, whose politics I'm not even a fan of necessarily, but he was killed by some people who were way darker than anything I think he ever did. I'm saying that they want us disarmed. They want America to look like Australia during COVID. That's their end goal, where they can control us bodily, physically. If we get out of line, they can. The facial recognition cam with Palantir, that's a big part of it, is surveillance. Because not only does it mean more gun control agenda pushing, it's more surveillance state agenda pushing once these shootings happen.
Yeah. There's a lot to it. All right, I gotta let you go, unfortunately, but thanks for calling in.
I'm sorry if I went too deep.
No, all good. Good shit. Thanks for calling. Guys, phone lines are closed. Stop calling in. I'm gonna get to everybody. I have to piss so fucking bad. I drank 3 bottles of water, but I'm gonna get through it. I'm just gonna cross my legs as tight as they go, like a fucking 6-year-old. Okay. This person is just not picking up. Please unmute yourself. If I ask you to unmute yourself. Hello. Oh, hold on.
Danny, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, and thanks for taking the call, Danny. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate the show. Letting me common man.
Oh, hold on a second.
Voice his opinion.
Sorry, I unmuted 2 people at once. Go ahead. You there? What just happened? Hello. Yes, I can hear you. Actually, hold on a second, please. Sorry. I'm fucking retarded. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so stupid. Sorry, guys. It's kind of throwing me for a loop here.
Hello?
Hey. I'm trying to get back the first guy. God damn it. It's so much going on. Hello. I think this might be it. Sorry about that. I fucking unmuted 4 people at once. Okay. What's up?
Not a problem, man. You can hear me now, right?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Okay. I appreciate the call. I've been enjoying the show, having people voice their opinions, and I really appreciate it because I think I have a bombshell.
Oh, let's hear it.
Absolutely blows my mind. So, I'm not the greatest Charlie Kirk fan anyway. He was whatever. He looks ugly, but he looks like he smells great, and that's the only thing I can't explain. So you have your crazy theories. You have the guy on the right. He used a phone gun to shoot him. You have the guy on the left. He used a CIA palm gun.
Yeah, I've seen the CIA palm
Neither
gun
of
thing where a guy was like touching his shirt and then the gun went off.
Right, that's right. And it's ridiculous. And you got it's 33 this, 33 that. It's not that, it's not that, it's not even Israel. This is the thing that blows my mind that no one else has seen yet. And it makes me feel crazy that I'm the only one who I know of who has seen this. How familiar are you with the video? You've seen it plenty of times, right?
I've seen it a few times, yeah.
So, you know the one man who folds his arm and everyone's going crazy. It's some encoded secret, the way he folds his arms. It's nothing like that, Danny. It is sign language. It is American sign language. If you look at what he says, that's not a code. He's speaking in American.
He's the sign language guy.
Literal sign language, not a code.
Okay.
If you look at when the video pans to him, it looks like he's in the middle of a sentence, but it's abundantly clear. You can see 98% of his sentence. Look at him. He's saying nigger, nig, nig, nigger, nig, 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 nigger, nig, nig, nigger, nig, nig, nigger.
Well, that was no fun.
Nig, nig, nigger, nig, nig.
I thought we were going to get some real bombshell. We just got a typical low-value email caller. That's disappointing. Not going to lie. I actually was at a concert on Saturday night. Joe Russo's Almost Dead. They're like this Grateful Dead cover band, but they're like really good. And then there was a sign guy doing the sign language for all the ADA people or whatever. And but it was like one of the funniest things. He was like this kind of like really like a kind of hip black dude he was the signing. And then when they're singing, he's like signing, but because it's a jam band, there'll be like 10 minutes without any music. Or without any lyrics. So then he just has to dance for like 10 minutes. It was bizarre. That was nothing to do with anything else. Okay. Hello.
Oh. Hey, Danny.
Hey, what's up?
This is Cole from Peoria.
Cole from Peoria. What's up, man?
Oh, you asked a question at the beginning of the night, which was how is Israel to blame for this? And I can answer it for you.
Let's hear it.
Also, I can answer maybe. Okay. You had that one dude early in the show about he was talking about a lot of like biblical prophecy and stuff.
Yeah.
I was actually raised Seventh-day Adventist. We were taught like this, apocalypse cult nonsense.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I can link it to you if you want. I also have some transgender friends who I was pretty sad to watch this past year.
Let's hear it all. Start
Okay.
wherever you feel is pertinent.
Okay. Well, with freedom of speech, I guess I wonder what people think it is, because you might disagree with Destiny, but he says when you're talking about freedom of speech, you're talking about the government. You're talking about what your right to express ideas and basically say the first thing that the First Amendment says is you'll make no law respecting establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So there's a lot of grievances there at the end. And I think Charlie Kirk, he was a voice of those grievances. And when we talk about abridging things, we say to shorten or without losing the sense and to curtail of a right or privilege. So basically to give people the wrong idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when we get into, freedom of speech versus terrorism, I don't know if you've ever read P.J. O'Rourke.
I have not.
But he's an old journalist from Rolling Stone. He died recently, but he said one of his greatest quotes is terrorism is the tool of losers. And this gets into how is Israel to blame for all this? So from my perspective, I've watched the American Medical Association adopted gender diversity in their hospital paperwork in about 2018. So you start seeing 2 genders just in general paperwork into 34 genders.
Yeah.
So doctors and everybody else is having to accept a whole range of bullshit. Then you get transgenderism used to be a form of mental illness declassified by the WHO in 2019. So I had a student I was working at university, and we had a guy, his name was Anthony, and he left and went to like Thailand or some shit.
Okay.
Came back, sold his entire Magic the Gathering. Like he had like a set of the original.
Yeah, like the Lotus
cards, or he had the Black Lotus. He had
Black
like
Lotus,
the set of the original like. Oh yeah, he sold his whole dish and then came back. He had worked at as an electrician in a slaughterhouse. He had like a daughter, and he came back and he basically had like they told him here locally, they're like, yeah, you've got a mental problem. Like, you need to fucking see some psychologists. And he just went to Thailand and got the chop and came back and was like, I'm a woman now.
Yeah, Thailand
And
will do that to you.
This was in 2014, and he's like, well, we need to talk about these changes because my name is something else now. And I just played Magic the Gathering with the guy, and I was like, well, that's different.
Sure.
But, yeah. So more recently, my more recent transgender was a coworker who I didn't know all of this, but basically this person lost it recently going into 2025, where they basically were just posting in all of like the corporate chats, just saying like Trump is, racist, he's a Nazi, blah, 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 blah. Quietly left. And what I didn't know was that the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign with the Corporate Equality Index, started to include a 5th pillar due to Greek and German employers for Little Hellas, which is like a competitor to like Aldi.
Okay.
Proponent by a Christos. Yeah. So like imagine anything with more economic sway than grocery stores. But this fellow named Christos Parnevelis in 2019, so this comes along with the AMA adoption and the 2019 of, so back in the day, like if this guy had left in, 2014 and we had seen him go transgender, we said he had a mental illness. Well, by 2019, this was all, this wasn't a mental illness. We were bigots. So all of this going into 2020, there was a policy change from this Human Rights Campaign, which is a United States organization in 1980, that started to include this 5th pillar included by this Christos Parnevelis, which said businesses must not have any kind of involvement with anti-LGBT organizations or activity, essentially blacklisting any corporation that decided to not
toe the line,
abide.
Essentially, yeah.
Correct. So getting into 2023, post-pandemic, we started seeing DEI policies dropping off from Google and many others, and then proceeding forward into 2025 with Robbie Starbuck. And he had kind of led the charge on Instagram and other things like confronting corporations saying like, hey, are you against DEI, and making it a real point. And at this point, medical benefits for gender affirmative care were no longer supported by company insurance in 2025. Ooh. That was the big strike against them. So when I was looking at some of my transgender coworkers, they really the first time I met this person, they had just gotten a skull scraping surgery to make their face look more feminine.
Wow. That's crazy.
So you've got this whole, yeah, right. So literally what's at stake for a lot of these people, and keep in mind, I'll be quoting P.J. O'Rourke's, terrorism is the tool of losers. So
yeah,
transgenders had basically this whole problem where their medical rights and their insurance subsidies were being cast off by companies, which for the last 2 years had afforded them.
Right. And so they lose all their access. They can't afford this stuff.
They can no longer, it's no longer gender affirmative, to get this cosmetic nonsense, right? So to get your skull shaved and get a fresh pair of tits and get your cock tucked and all that.
Sure.
Plus, bathroom rights are subsidiary to that. So these people left the corporation. and maybe a couple of them held on, but Google led the charge in 2023, and all these other corporations saying, we can't, if they can't afford it, we can't.
You're right. And they just go, and as long as someone else doesn't do it, then they go, yeah, we don't have to do it. Like, look, Google's not doing it.
Nobody's doing it. And so it's because it's not affordable. And then the issues, you get back to Europe and you get back to the Greeks and the Germans, and all that post-COVID money, and they're sitting there thinking they can push any agenda. And the actual paper on this fifth layer of, corporate equality index, basically blacklisting any corporation. The way that corporations framed it was, we're pushing against foreign influence.
Okay. So how does it tie into Israel? Is Israel the foreign influence? Yeah, go ahead. All right.
Well, the thing was that you and Ryan had pointed out was that, and I like your economic studies, but federally subsidized loans represent approximately $1 trillion in subsidy, with 53% assured rescindents. So 40% of that being female and 13% male.
Yeah.
So Charlie Kirk exposed, exactly, but Kirk exposed March to the institutions. And this is the effect. Basically, the effect of this is destabilizing communist propaganda and influence. So the American Academy stands exposed in its corruption totally. They've been insulated. They've been insulated up to this point, and they're rationalizing violence against wealthy, the family, and society overall. And I think people forget that propaganda doesn't have to do anything other than produce chaos.
Yeah.
And what it produces through the government mechanisms enabled by Obama and all these clowns is the current system produces indentured servants in a system of hypergamy. So you have all of these people in a hypergamic society. They're indentured to the government. They're isolated on the internet. They have mass consumption within their echo chambers. They're exposed to pornography and digital prostitution with potent drugs. And this Tyler Robinson kid, the thing we forget is I think the one thing we forget about Israel is that they sacrifice, right? They know what sacrifice means. Mm-hmm. And Kirk is a martyr unto that. He is meant to rally this drive against the academy. So he's saying they're exposing all their wrongs. He's exposing how they do all this shit. And he's exposing how, most of all, they're open to Muslim grooming. So people given over to chaos and all this bullshit, the next, Islam is primed to come in. And we see that in these, protests for, queers for Palestine. Like, what the hell is that?
Sure.
And Jews recognize that society is, their prophecy. When people were talking about the SDA crap, I've read so much prophecy that it's coming out my fucking ears. But society is cyclical, and prophecy assumes that things rise and fall. People thought that the world would end in 1840. That was when communism was on the rise, the Civil War was on the dude. I mean, everything was set to be an apocalypse, and we're still here.
Yeah.
But the main point here is, if you want to catalyze Turning Point USA in its prime and realize Kirk and his whole organization is some sort of sacrificial lamb, this is how you do it.
So you're basically saying that Israel contributed to this in order to defeat the Muslims?
I'm saying Israel has to do nothing at all. Islam is already preened to come in.
Yeah.
But if the state is to blame for this, all it has to do is let the people sort it out, because all of this stuff just creates an environment of chaos. And the net result is Kirk dies. His whole people rally to his cause.
Yeah.
And then the side of that, opposition to Israel diminishes, the attention slackens, and sanctions loosen. And because people are just kind of retarded when it comes to I make a distinction, therefore that's racism, therefore that's Nazism, therefore, they get lost in that loop.
Sure.
So I
interesting.
think
that's a pretty good theory. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just saying Israel definitely benefits. I don't know if they were to blame for this.
Yeah, but you could see how they could. But you could see how they could benefit. Interesting. That's a pretty good theory.
But people think that there's some big play here. That first guy that called in was like, "Oh, let's do violence against these people." I'm like, "Well, no, they're losers. They know they're losing. Their world's falling apart in front of them."
Yeah, and generally, if you know anybody like this, it's like they're like, you know, any trans people who are like, yeah, they are in a state of constant chaos. Like, their lives are fairly
they
chaotic.
Oh, I was buying them Lego sets by the end. I was just like, this is fucked up. But yeah, I mean, terrorism is the tool of losers. They're all a bunch of autistic furries, and it's like they don't know the end from the beginning, and there's bigger fish out there. Anyway, that was
good theory.
I wanted to answer
Great
your
call.
question.
Great call. Thank you.
All right.
Good talking to you, man. That was a great call. All right, we're gonna take a few more calls. This person cannot fucking unmute themselves, so I gotta piss so bad, and we're already over time. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail.
Can
Who
you
am I
hear me?
speaking with? Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Did you unmute two people at once again?
What? No, it's just you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I live somewhat near Cleveland, Ohio, and I was listening to a radio show this morning.
Okay.
And they were talking about cancel culture when it comes to this Charlie Kirk issue.
Yep.
And I just thought it was weird that no one seems to be able to discriminate between, like, calling somebody fat on the internet and getting them fired from the job from, like, calling or cheering for terrorism.
Sure. Which is, yes,
Like,
this is cheering for terrorism. This is definitely ghoulish behavior. I mean, obviously, like, you know, applauding someone who was murdered, assassinated in cold blood versus, like being like, you're a man, not a woman. Like, those are different things. Now, they would say, they're like, no, that's a different type of terrorism. It's not, but I mean, that's how they would conflate it, I suppose. But yes, obviously, like, I mean, again, obviously you have common sense. You go, these two things are not the same. But does everybody have common sense? I don't think so.
I'm just not sure if they have no common sense or if they're just lying.
Both. There is a real element to them. I mean, there's like, it's a power game, right? Like, there's winners and there's losers. Like, I mean, you definitely saw in the last decade where you go, a lot of this shit, you go, there's real winners here and like this DEI and all this stuff, and there's real losers. Like, when you look at people who are like, I was like, couldn't get promoted at my job, or I couldn't get hired because I was a white guy. You're like, that's a loser in this game. And someone who was like, I got this job specifically because of my ethnicity or my gender or whatever. You go, that's a winner. I mean, it's pretty clear.
All right. Well, I didn't have much to say other than that. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't losing my fucking mind.
Yeah, no, you are not. You are not. All right, take care. All right, two more callers here, and then I'm going to go soil my panties. Thank you for everybody for joining the show. I appreciate it very much. Drew, I read this. Dylan says, LMAO, my wife just said, I don't know. I always think Slav is black. No, don't super chat that. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail, second last caller of the night.
Hello?
Are you there?
Hello?
Hey, what's up? You're on Low Value Mail.
Oh, hi. My name is Stephen.
Steven, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Excellent.
So, I mean, I've been listening pretty much the whole show, and you definitely covered. I think everything's been covered.
Yeah.
I would say just when it comes to the Kirk stuff, one of the things that hasn't been talked about was I had a conversation with somebody, and their thinking was they were a left-leaning person, and their thinking was that the shooter was a right-leaning guy, like a Nick Fuentes
yeah,
guy.
like a Groiper, which has been people on the, because look, whenever anything bad happens, nobody wants to be like, that was my group that I associate with. They always want to deflect. Right. They always want to deflect it. If it's like, if you're a white guy, then you break it down into a smaller sliver and you go, yeah, I was a white guy, but it was like not the type of white guy I am. That's not my group, right? So everybody's, and when it's left versus right, you just instantly go, that was the other side.
Yeah, and I think that was why, too, there was so much bad information going on when it was first coming out, because each group just kept trying to point at each other and just go, nah, it's their thing. That's their thing. That's their thing.
Yeah.
But so when I was talking with him about like his theory, and he's like, yeah, he was a groper. He followed Nick Fuentes and all that stuff. I was like, okay, but he has like a trans lover. And he's like, well, you know, maybe he doesn't have a trans lover. We don't know if they were lovers. It could just be roommates.
Sure.
And so I was like, so the guy is so far right neo-Nazi that he'll shoot a moderate Republican at an event in front of thousands of people, plan his whole assassination, and he'll just live with a roommate. Like, he's not so neo-Nazi that he'll kill the trans guy because he's on the lease.
Yeah,
like, it made no sense.
It does not. I mean, again, that was, you know, as this stuff is happening, like, more information starts to come out and people kind of, you know, like when there's less information, people kind of form their theory and then they go, yeah, of course. I mean, even like the most left-leaning news sources at this point, like the CBC in Canada, CNN here, they're all like, it was a leftist. Like that's, at this point, that's the narrative. Even nobody can deny that. They're like, yeah, this is obviously leftist terrorism. Even it's so obvious, at least with what the current narrative from the FBI is and the government or whatever, that's what it is. But obviously that's what they want. They want it to be. They don't want to be on the side of like, yeah, we're making people going to assassinate people. I think that's generally like typical human behavior where you go, yeah, we didn't do that. That was them. I mean, there was the funny joke where people are like, yeah, of course it's a groper. He has a trans girlfriend. But that was more of a dig at the gropers. But they didn't mean that. Yeah.
I had to look up and see do gropers have trans girlfriends, and that's a weird Google search to have on it.
Yeah. But that's more of a joke. Yeah, that's more of a, I think.
But one of the things that I was thinking about too is like what people are asking is like, what do we do from here? And something that I think you and Ryan mentioned on the Boys Cast is like, do we do something like bring back like the mental institutions?
That's what I'm in favor of. I would love to bring back the mental asylums. It would make New York a lot more pleasant.
And
sure. I mean, Brian Kilmeade was on fucking Fox News, and he's like, we should just euthanize them all.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, you should euthanize them.
Yeah, and they were like,
and then he had to try to come out and apologize for that. I was like, that's a hard one to apologize for. You were pretty open about.
Yeah, he literally was just like, my bad. My bad. Probably got a little carried away. Shouldn't have said we should just euthanize every fucking mentally ill person, homeless person. You go, all right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I think
maybe that's the case. We tried them before, and I mean, I've been to Pennhurst Asylum, which is like an asylum in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
and that was one of the reasons why they started deinstitutionalizing mental asylums in the country, because some reporter went there and like did a journalistic report on the state of it, and found that it was overcrowded and the doctors and nurses weren't doing a good job, and people were just left there to die and all this kind of stuff. And then that created a larger investigation into other asylums. They found that they all pretty much suffered the same problems. And instead of fixing it and being like, oh, how can we fix it? They just said, shut them all down.
Yeah.
Just shut them all down.
Yeah, because that's probably
just get the people out of there.
Yeah. And you know what? At the time, that's probably like the politically like expedient solution is you just go, look, let's just like go scorched earth on this shit. We're just going to get rid of them all. We'll put them in prisons, which is not any better. We'll release some of them to the fucking streets.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a way. Like, I know the government's not great at doing this shit.
They tried to call family members, but like nobody would go get them. So then they just like let them roam around in the city that's right next to the asylum. Because my wife and I were like visiting that area. Like there's a town nearby, and a lot of people go, oh yeah, like my grandfather worked there, or my great grandfather worked there, whatever. And then you have some people that are like, yeah, my great grandmother lived there.
Right.
And it's just like she just left and then moseyed into town.
Yeah.
And then just had to make a life for herself because there was just nothing else she could do.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth a shot to bring back the fucking asylums. Like, maybe we can do it in like a more modern way. They have so many more drugs now. And I know part of the deinstitutionalizing premise is they're like, we have all these drugs now that can like help these people, but I don't know. It literally went from fucking, what was it, 340 beds per 100,000 people to like we're at 15 or something right now. It's hard to get the exact numbers, but it's like a pretty. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of people who would argue against it. You're just like, just don't fucking abuse them and like kill them and stuff.
Right.
I don't know why that's such a huge ask.
In one of the asylums, one of the doctors that I went to, I think at Penhurst, I think his name was literally like Dr. William Death.
Oh God.
And it's just like you just shouldn't hire that guy.
Yeah.
Just don't hire that guy to be a doctor.
Yeah, Dr. Death is maybe not the guy. Yeah. All right.
I bigot, but just don't hire the guy with the last name Death.
Yeah, Dr. Death, not probably the dude. Anyways, thanks for calling in. Take care. All right, last call of the night. Stop calling in. The phone lines are closed. You missed your opportunity. You can call in tomorrow night on a new episode of The Bathhouse, live at 9 p.m. from the Stand Comedy Club studio, likely not the green room, as Theo Vaughn is doing a show at the Stand. It's probably sold out, but if you're in New York City and you want to catch that show, there might be some tickets available, although I assume there are not. The last caller, you have literally 3 seconds to unmute yourself. Otherwise, I'm ending this thing. Oh, you're lucky. You are on low value.
Hey, Danny.
Last call of the night.
Good. I'm glad. I think the first thing I kind of want to talk about was how, oddly enough, like what I felt, obviously not to the extent when I heard about the assassination, and then the reaction was kind of when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody, like, it was like,
you were shocked.
You kind of, well, you kind of wish it was a work, you know, and I think that's kind of the feeling that a lot of people have right now. We all wish that it was a work.
It was not a work. For those not familiar with the wrestling term, fake is what you were hoping it was going to be. Certainly.
Sorry, I'm in Texas, sir.
Yeah. No, it was not a work, unfortunately. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure there is a tiny sliver of people. I mean, look, there's a lot of people who think Trump faked his assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. Like, a lot of people think that that's fake. Like, a non-insignificant amount of people in America are like, that was fake. That was a ketchup packet. That wasn't real. The guy who got killed wasn't real. Like, the whole thing was fake, right? So, like, they exist. I'm sure there are people who are like, he's alive. He's fucking on some island or something. I don't know. But obviously, obviously it would have been nice if it was.
I think we all kind of, I don't know what the symptom of getting black to like, oh, everything's a work. Everything's a work. That's work.
Right.
That's work.
Right.
With AI. Sorry, I'm going to go to my room. My pug is yelling. No, I was also thinking like the root cause. That was something I've been thinking about. And I think what's great about your show is that you kind of do have extreme opinions, and I think people don't hear enough extreme opinions.
Yeah.
So people don't know what a real extreme opinion actually is.
Sure.
Like, I don't know if I were to talk to like a moderate leftist, even like a moderate leftist, and ask them, can you name me one mainstream Republican idea? I don't think they could. Or one mainstream conservative idea. I don't think they could.
Maybe anti-abortion, pro-life.
Yeah, but even then they would think that's extreme. Like, it's you're trying to.
That's certainly not an maybe to them it's an extreme position, but I don't think that would be considered an extreme far right position.
I don't know if I think for them, like they don't know what a mainstream. At least not many of them know what a mainstream opinion. I did want to kind of touch. I don't know if someone had brought it up earlier. I think they might have about like how much death do people actually like can handle seeing? Because you think about like the history of human society and how much death our ancestors saw regularly, like in real life.
I mean, look, we used to. I mean, I think I was talking about it on the Bathhouse last week, but like we literally public executions used to be like a fucking football game. You took the kids, and they stopped doing them in a lot of European countries because they were meant to be a deterrent, and the problem was people were enjoying them too much. And there was a point where they go, this isn't a deterrent anymore. This is just pure entertainment. And like people get drunk and they come to these things and like they're having a fun time. And I think we lost the deterrent element. So probably people did actually see a lot of death. And we're actually seeing historically way less than your average person saw. I still don't think it's good.
I think we've lost our evolutionary tolerance to it, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that would be probably the best way to put it is we've maybe become like we're getting decent. Maybe we became sensitized to not seeing death, if that makes sense. And then, so now it is the shocking thing if you rarely see it. But there's probably certain places in the world where they like wouldn't even flinch if they saw that shit. They're like, yeah, I see stuff like this all the time.
Right.
So
it's not.
I don't know, but it shouldn't be like mixed
world.
in with my fucking sports highlights. Like that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't be watching like Blue
No,
Jays
I
highlights and then some dude getting his head kicked down the road in Dallas. Like I shouldn't be seeing that.
Yeah. No, I tell you, I definitely don't like watching a guy got shot through his neck when I'm at a drive-through at a Whataburger. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's no
there's
no mechanism. They have no mechanism to put like a content warning on them, especially when it's just like a real-time news thing. You're just like, what just happened? And then you saw it.
Yeah. So I think the last thing, I'll let you go. Then I got to take a piss. But the last thing I want to talk about was, I know the cathartic joy that we get after watching all these people get fired from their jobs for celebrating somebody's death on TV, on the internet. And I don't know. There's a part of me. I'm not religious, at least traditionally religious. So like about kind of showing some grace, especially to like the younger, 18-year-old kids who just don't know anything. Like the 42-year-old college professor or teacher, they're more free game. But I think like the younger kids, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the hope is that sometimes there is an element where you got to make an example of people. Like, the justice system does it all the time. There is some element where you go, hey, like people just have to see this happening to be like, this is not the thing to do, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's not my favorite thing, but there is an element of like, you reap what you sow here for certain people where you're like, you were totally in favor of people on the right, from COVID, from lots of different shit, like losing everything over, having like incorrect thoughts. So at some point you're like, maybe, the question is, does this balance it out? Is this the thing that makes those people be like, I was wrong? I don't think so. I don't think people are going to be like, you know what? I shouldn't have done that.
At the very least, if they don't have sympathy, now they have true empathy, right? Because now they really do know how it feels.
Or are they fucking like angrier than ever and they're going to dig their heels in even deeper on this shit, which is kind of where I
saw one video game. Yeah. I saw one video game developer, Sucker Punch. Yeah. She was like, if this takes me getting, fired for, calling out a fascist, whatever, I'll do it 1,000 times more.
Exactly.
She definitely doubled down. If she was really fired, some theory that people are saying they were fired just to get people off their back.
Right.
But okay, I'm gonna one quick question. Just I'm gonna let you go because I gotta take this too. My sister did want to know how come Ryan is following Ethan Klein on Instagram, but you're not. I know it's a chick question, but what do you have against your fellow?
I don't know. I don't know why Ryan follows. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea why Ryan follows.
I know. It was a dumb chick question.
Oh, okay.
She literally was asking right now. She was looking at.
I mean, I know Ryan's.
Very much.
Yeah. I know Ryan's not an Ethan Klein fan per se. I don't follow him. I'm not a fan of his. I don't know. I see some clips from him from time to time. Doesn't he just like do live streams where he just cries mostly?
Yeah, and he makes fun of Jordan Peterson for crying. But
doesn't he just like cry all the time? Yeah, it's not for me.
He cried when Kirk was shot. I know he got the news. He's just like,
it's just like all I see him is crying. I don't need that in my life. I have a wife at home. I don't need a fucking wife on the internet. All right.
Well, I gotta look. You have a good one, buddy. I know you got to piss.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man. All righty. Dan Buckley says, this is the greatest show on the internet. Excellent show, my friend. Thank you. This is the fucking greatest show on the internet. I'm glad someone realizes it for once. Drew Huntley says, I blame Shannon. Shannon is to blame for Kirk. Coin. Dan Mullen says, let's smash that like button to support cell phones. I don't know what that means. And Prague just dropped a super chat. No message. Thanks, Prague. That has been the show. Shout out to you all. Our final tally. Do you believe the FBI story? Currently, we have 485 votes. 68% say no, i.e. it was the Jays. That's been the show, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. Good show. Fun time. That's it. Come and catch me. I will make an announcement in the Patreon in the event that the show is canceled tomorrow. But I think we should be good for a new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow, 9 p.m. So if you didn't get to call in tonight, you can call in tomorrow. If you never caught The Bathhouse, it is so much fun. It is a funny show. We have a good time. If you want to support me, you can do so. Patreon.com/low-value-mail, MAIL. Join the YouTube channel. Shout out to Vince for giving a membership away. Whatever you want. Tell a friend. And shout out to Gerard, the greatest producer in the world. He's so good. He did a great job. He's been doing a bang-up job. So give Gerard his flowers. That's been the show. I have to urinate badly. Good night, everybody. See you soon.
I'm really a poet, you know it, all my shit heroic. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stoic. Bleep, blow up, nigga, that just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can fit his hit if you up or if you hurtin'. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5, got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenal. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comical. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. Ha. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, I'm pulling up fresh on some flight shit. Ha.